killing his I guess you could call it a girl. I don't know if you want to call it a girlfriend or a lady he was messing with, because this lady allegedly was married. He killed his actual the woman he was messing with brother. So we're gonna be covering that story tonight. We're also gonna talk about the Trump birthright citizenship. Trump is talking about if he becomes president again, that he's gonna get rid of that as well by executive order. So yeah, man, we plan on having a pretty full Twitter space tonight. Monty, what's up? I see you up in here. Y'all tweet the space out for me as well too. We'll start shortly. We'll let some of our people come up in here. Like I say, last night, I don't know what happened with the Twitter space. It was rolling fine, and then all of a sudden, it just boom, just went out on us. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case tonight. But the Twitter spaces, you never could tell. You can never really tell. So we definitely going to go in on this, man. And I'm going to start posting some stuff up in the Jumbotron in a second. Definitely want to go ahead and get everybody's opinion on this. I'm going to read the article on this as well, too. And it's a video I want to put up there as well, too, man. So in case I know probably quite a few of y'all may have seen it. Some of you may not have seen it, but definitely want to check that video out as well, too, man. The actual girl, the actual woman, I should say, that's behind a lot of this stuff. They have an actual video with her, and she's in the courtroom. She's being cross-examined. They dive into the actual tweets that she sent her actual brother and friends and stuff about, coming up there to shoot his shit up and all of that. So, yeah, man, this is a very interesting trial, to say the least, right here, man. Very interesting, very interesting. DJ, what's up? Can you hear me all right? I know it's always a delay, too, so I'll give him a second.
All good. What's good, Newstoter, Professor? What's good, Bo, Ray, Carlos? What's good, Monty? CR, falling in. What's going on? Let's get the show started.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, bro? Good to see you up in here, Ray. Good to see you. Bobo Rance up in the house, and Monty. And I see Tyus Blake right there, Carlton. Carlo, good to see you, man.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, y'all. I mean, let me go ahead and get it started, man. Like I said, we're going to cover the Trump thing as well, too. But I'm going to go ahead when I get a chance. I'm going to actually put that article. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the article up in the Jumbotron as well, too, real quick. Or I'll put it in a second when I get a chance. I want to go ahead and touch upon this. This is from yahoo.com. It was curated on the Newstoter.com platform. This live updates. Former FSU NFL player Travis Rudolph returns to court for day 4 of murder trial. Week 2 of the murder trial of former Florida State University football player Travis Rudolph began Tuesday. Attorneys for both sides presented opening statements last week, one casting Rudolph as the aggressor and the other insisting he was a victim. Rudolph, who played briefly in the NFL, is charged with murder and 3 counts of attempted murder in connection with a fatal shooting outside of his Lake Park home 2 years ago. 4 men appeared on Rudolph's doorstep shortly after midnight on April 7, 2021 to confront him about a dispute he had with his girlfriend hours earlier. The confrontation turned violent. Rudolph said he armed himself with an AR-15. Prosecutors say the men were trying to flee in a black Cadillac. By the time Rudolph fired 39 shots in their direction, killing Sebastian Jean Jaquez in the passenger seat. Rudolph asked the circuit court judge Jeffrey Gillen to dismiss the case last year on the basis of Florida's stand your ground law, which permits the use of deadly force to protect against death or great bodily harm. Gillen denied his claim, leaving jurists to decide whether Rudolph ended Jean Jaquez's life to save his own. Following the live updates from inside the courtroom, where the proceedings resumed at 10 a.m. Tuesday's proceedings began the same way as Friday's ended, with Rudolph would witness Taylor Robinson on the stand rebutting accusations that he and his friends planned to kill Travis Rudolph. Robinson was one of 4 men who confronted Rudolph on April 7, 2021. Keyshawn Johnson testified last week that they just wanted to talk to Rudolph about allegedly slamming Jones' sister to the ground after she discovered text on his phone from another woman. Unlike Jones, Robinson said he went to Lake Park home expecting a fight. All 3 men said Rudolph instigated the brawl. They testified that he came to the door and pushed past him into the front yard, picking up Jones and slamming him to the ground. A fist fight between Rudolph and the 4 men ensued, with Rudolph's brother joining in to help. Robinson brought a gun with him, but maintained he never pulled it out of his pocket. He told juries that he saw Rudolph run into his home and return with a rifle in hand, at which point Robinson began shouting and surrender. His yells captured on Rudolph's Ring doorbell camera. Robinson ran with his friends about 300 feet down the street to where they parked the car, and Rudolph chased them. Robinson said Rudolph began shooting as he drove into the backseat of the Cadillac. The gunfire stopped after nearly 40 gunshots, and he heard Jean Jacques say in the front passenger seat, "I got hit." Robinson was shot too. He said the silence and the stillness from his friends made him think they had been killed. He stumbled out of the car and ran down the street, Jones speeding away without realizing he left Robinson behind. Rudolph's defense attorney, Mark Shiner, sparred with Robinson Friday and continued to do so Tuesday, each one nitpicking the other's phrasing and prompting exasperated interruptions from the prosecutors and judge. Shiner harped on Robinson's decision to dump his handgun after fleeing from the car. Robinson said it was because he was bleeding out. He wanted first responders to treat him for his injuries and not confuse him for a gunman. When asked why he didn't immediately tell officers about the gun, Robinson said he was preoccupied with staying alive. The defense attorney accused Robinson of trying to hide the weapon to downplay his role in the shooting. Rudolph has accused him and Jean Jacques of pointing their guns at him, prompting him to pull the trigger and forming the basis for his stand your ground claim. Officials never found a gun on Jean Jacques, though Rudolph's defense attorneys have suggested his friends hid it before police officers arrived. Shiner pointed out that Robinson also failed to tell investigators that Jones texted him and his sister that Rudolph was a dead man walking for allegedly mistreating his then girlfriend, Dominique Jones. She responded, "Please go shoot his shit up." These texts were empty threats at best, Robinson told Shiner. He testified last week that he brought his handgun with him most places because he had just turned 21 and he thought that's what men do, not because he had any intention to actually use it. Assistant State Attorney Francine Edwards underscored the point when she asked Mr. Robinson why, if he went to Rudolph's home to murder him, didn't he shoot him with the gun in his pocket? Robinson replied the same way he did when he first took the witness stand, that they weren't there to kill Rudolph. Bovo, what's up? I see you up here, so go ahead and come on up in here. Unmute your mic.
Oh yeah, how you doing tonight, brother?
What's going on, Vovo?
Oh, nothing much, man. I can't stay long. I gotta work at 4:30 in the morning. I just wanted to say, I've been speaking about this type of shit for years. Let me say this right to the women. You might not have a big brother or an uncle or a father or whatever that's gonna keep it real with you like this, but I'm gonna keep it real tonight. You gotta keep your hands to yourself. Like you gotta keep your hands to yourself. I'm not one of those guys that say, "Oh, a man should never hit a woman" and all that. Listen, I done had to hit women before. Now I'm not gonna come in the house and be like, "Oh shit, the egg's cold, wow, bust you in the nose or some shit. I'm having a bad day, wow, no." But I done had women pour knives on me. I done had women punch me. I done had women kick me. All types of shit. I defend myself. I fight back. You know what I'm saying? Like from the video I seen, she hit him. He called her a bitch or something like that, and she hit him. Now, if you gonna call your brother, your son, your uncle, your father, and you know you wrong, you don't love them. You can't tell me you crashing your people out. You crashing your son out. You crashing your brother out. You crashing your father out. You crashing out your uncle. You crashing out your friend. Ain't no man about to accept that. When two men get into it, it's life and death. Niggas done been killed with one punch. I know a nigga that's dead right now, one punch, and he out of here. You know what I mean? So like this, you got to keep your hands to yourself. In my opinion, if you come to my house, you ain't even got to have no gun. I'm assuming you got a gun, because if you come and knock on my door for some drama, there's all types of guns in my house. So I'm type of nigga, I won't even open up the door. I'll shoot through the door. Like if you come to my house with 4 motherfuckers, this serious business. So you might be in your feelings. Like this what I tell my sister, my mama, all them. They know not to call me. They know not to call me because they know when I come, I'm coming serious. Like I'm coming serious. But the first thing I'm asking is, what you do? What you do to him? I'm not no crash dummy. Oh, what? He slapped the shit out you? Well, then what you do to deserve it? Oh, you ain't do nothing? Then I'm coming. But you hit him first? Well, shit, he did what he had to do. Tell my nigga that he need to chill. That's all I can do. I'm about to go to I got to work tomorrow. When I come in serious business, I'm not playing. And I'm not no crash dummy. My sister don't call me for shit like that. My mama don't call me for shit like that. My auntie and them, they don't call me for shit like that. We just had to handle a situation last year for somebody putting their hands on my auntie. It was serious business. We transformed from all over the country. I'm talking about motherfuckers drove here. It was amazing to see cousins and shit drive up here from all over the country to come fight. So this shit's serious. So let me say this, right, ladies? This is all about her. You can create a situation that you can get somebody killed. And you might just want attention. Women do that all the time. They'll be looking for, I done had women walk in, me and my friend in the store talking, she done walked in between me and my friend with her dude right there. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this? And she goes, because there wasn't no room right there. It was all types of room behind us. She wanted attention. So y'all better be careful with that attention seeking. You ain't gotta disrespect somebody because you like them or you think they cute or whatever reason or you want some attention. No, don't be doing that. Like that. That's just what I wanted to say, brother. Before I start rapping, women, do not crash out your brother, your uncle, your daddy, none of the men in your life, your friend, none of the men in your life that love you. Because you want attention or you feel disrespected by this man, you having sex with this nigga. This how I talk to my sister. You having sex with this nigga. You sucking this nigga dick. You bending over in front of him. You doing all the shit. I'm not there for that. So whatever, let me know. If it's something real, I'm going to show up for sure. I'll die about you. But don't crash my life out. Appreciate you letting me speak, bro.
All right, Volvo, appreciate it. Let me go ahead and Professor, let me go ahead and get to you and anybody else that wants to comment on this conversation tonight. Because like I said, we're going to talk about this. We're going to also speak about the actual Trump and the birthright citizenship that Donald Trump is talking about. If he becomes president, what he's going to do. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that's coming up in the space tonight. Y'all go ahead and tweet the space out as well too. We plan on having a pretty nice conversation. So I put a poll out as well too. And I need to go ahead and put that in the Jumbotron so I can get y'all to go ahead. Let me put that poll up in the Jumbotron real quick. And it says, should ex-NFL player Travis Rudolph be acquitted of murder? So far, we got 33 votes with 85% saying yes, 15% saying no. So definitely for those, I just put it up in the Jumbotron, guys. So y'all get a chance. Please go ahead and respond to that poll. Go ahead and go ahead and submit what you think about it as well, too. Professor, what's going on? You got it.
Yeah, thank you there, brother, for letting me speak up in here. Peace and power and reparation to the family up in here tonight. Bobo was right on the money, man. And I hope this brother gets off. Because to me, if you come to somebody's house late at night, hey, as far as I know, you coming there to try to kill me. That's how I look at it. And I got my gun ready to blast. Okay, so just be prepared. If you come to somebody's house late at night trying to confront them over some bullshit, you're the one that put yourself in the situation. So as far as I am concerned, this jury needs to find this brother not guilty of this crime. That's all I have to say about that. And I will add on to what Bobo just said. Women, unless you are in a dire situation with a significant other, boyfriend, husband, or whatever, where he's beating on you or he's about to kill you, don't get your brothers or dads or cousins involved in your drama. I want you all to understand that we do have, sadly, and this is, of course, it's not all women now. It's not all sisters. But some of y'all are looking for some attention. Some of y'all like to cause issues. And you blow a situation up more than what it really is. Now, if that person is doing something to really harm you, then yeah, you get your brother or your father or your cousins involved at that time. But if it's just an argument over some petty shit where you said, well, I saw you texting another girl, that type of shit, you leave that shit within your home with you and him. Okay? Don't bring other people into that shit. And I'm telling you something, women, that's the type of stuff that I have noticed that gets blowed up a lot. It's petty stuff like that ends up causing, like Bobo said, that caused somebody to get killed. You end up putting your daddy or your brother or your cousin in a bad situation where they could end up dead. Hell, for that matter, they could end up in a trial situation like what's going on with Travis Rudolph. This is the type of stuff that gets black men caught up in the system. So this is something that we all need to be conscious of, and don't get people involved in your drama unless it is a dire emergency situation. I'm gonna land my plane right there.
All right, appreciate that, Professor. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic. You there, Volvo? Try again and see. I know.
Oh yeah, my bad. Hold on, brother. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of something. I'm sorry.
Let we come back to you. Yeah, I put that video up in the Jumbotron as well, y'all. If y'all have not seen that video, definitely check it out. From what we can see, and the video, of course, the video doesn't show. We don't know the entire interaction with it. What we can see is that it looks like she's leaving the house and he's kind of trying to get her to go or whatever. She's swinging and hitting at him and stuff like that as well too. I don't see him hitting her or anything like that. From the part of the video we see, I can't say how much of that video, the entirety was displayed or not. But from what we see, she's pretty much swinging and hitting and everything like that as well too. What I found so, just crazy was her actual testimony. When she was talking about the actual text and stuff like that, she's talking about shooting the man's shit up. But then she's saying, well, at the same time, we didn't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anybody to get harmed. And I think everybody in here can understand pretty much when somebody's talking about they're going to shoot some shit up, people die. People get injured. They get messed up. When you talk about shooting some shit up and somebody's bringing guns and stuff like that, I've never heard anything with people, it's a joke. Nobody jokes like that we know of. Nobody goes, you don't tell a group of guys, especially one of them your brother, and, I don't know exactly what she told her brother, what he did to her, but you don't tell your brother's coming over here with a group of guys. First off, like Volvo said, you talking about going to a man's house after midnight with 4 guys in a car. Okay, you and the sister just got into it, so already tensions are high. Tensions can't help but be high. If you're sitting up here and this guy, he's pissed off because he doesn't know what you've done with his sister. He doesn't know how it's gone. You're pissed off because you've been dealing with the sister and whatnot. And not only are you pissed off, now you got 4 guys, and one guy testified that, hey, we were going there to fight. One guy said, no, well, we just going there to talk. Another guy said, yeah, I thought we'd get into a fight. So off rip, you're telling people that, hey, yeah, we're coming over here with the mindset of getting into an altercation. Not too many people that I know are going to sit up here and try to fight 4 dudes 4-on-1. And from what I understand, the brother jumped in, he saw it as well too. And then, you started getting people running with guns and coming back and forth. Now, Travis had the AR-15, he had the gun, but also, you had 2 guys allegedly that had guns as well too. I know they was one of them was saying that he didn't use his gun or whatever. The defense was trying to say that the man that got killed had a gun on him, and Rudolph claims that he and the other guy, Robertson, I believe, pulled a gun out on them. One gun was never even talked about. I don't think they found the victim's gun. The one that got killed, I don't think they found his gun, or people said they hit it or whatever. But the other guy, he had a gun. He didn't use it or whatever, apparently, but he did have a gun on him or whatever. We don't know if he pulled a gun out or not. the simple fact that, 4-on-1, you can't expect somebody to fight 4-on-1, even if it's 4-on-2 or whatever. So the whole idea that you're coming over here and then you got text messages and you got people talking about this person is a dead man walking, shoot this person's shit up. I'm really, really surprised that this is even going to trial, but I'm not surprised because it is the state of Florida where I live at. Had this been somebody like a Zimmerman, like now Zimmerman, he kills Trayvon Martin and it's completely stand your ground. This dude has got to worry about 4 dudes coming to his house after midnight. Nobody shows up. First off, as men, and I think we all can speak on this right here. If a man comes to your house to confront you, off rip, you feeling a certain kind of way. And the fact that this man came with 3 other people, this is how people get hurt. Straight up. This is how people get hurt. If a man was to come to my house, then I know it's something serious. There's something not to be taken lightly. And we are taught not to go to people's houses. If you got an issue with a person, the last thing you do is show up to that person's house. Because goddamn, you don't know exactly what you're getting into. This person liable to come out there and just commit the blasting on you. So you're never taught. That's some middle school stuff, straight up. You can get away with that stuff when you're in middle school. You can follow somebody home if you want to and you're in middle school or elementary school and get away with something like that. Once you start getting to high school and stuff like that, that's a big no-no. And as grown men, you would never, ever, if somebody was to tell you like, yeah, well, I went over to his house to give him the fade him straight up. People be like, you did what? You went to that man's house. And then not only do you go to this man's house, you go to this man's house with a gang of people. And I consider 3 other people a gang of people. So the situation here, I don't know exactly. And from what they're also saying, this woman that Travis Rudolph was seeing was married. So I don't exactly know if that's true. I don't know if it's true or not. But if it is true that she was married, how in the hell are you going to flip out if he is seeing other women and you're a married woman? Like that's the whole part too. That's just like a head scratcher there. If this woman is truly, if she was truly a married woman and she's sitting up worrying about her side dude going through her phone or whatever, she's going through his phone and she's getting upset, then, I don't know exactly what in the hell she's talking about. Let me go ahead and get to Be More Codified, and I'm going to get to you, Vovo.
What's up, family? Thanks for letting me speak.
You kind of low. You can get it up a little bit louder, Brother McCool?
Yeah, can you hear me a little bit better?
Yeah, I can hear you better.
What I was saying, this is a classic evidence of our interaction levels starting at tacky, then going from tacky to trashy, and then from trashy to terroristic. This man can't even defend his home. Married woman, very, very tacky, if that is so. But I also feel like
I just want to say allegedly. I heard allegedly she's married, so I just want to say that. Yeah.
Right. So allegedly. But I will say this. We still have open cases where our brothers are decapitated, body parts are still being found. What's his name? Sanzay or Sanzay Reed. The young boy murdered, 13-year-old murdered by a white guy who's still out free. And then we come with this shit. The Travis Randolph murder trial. It's just like we got so much other shit to cook up. There's so much other serious shit. I mean, we got goddamn security companies working hand in hand with each other, picking up migrants and bringing them and dropping them off here, right underneath our noses. And we'll get sidetracked with this type of story. To speak to Trump and the Birthright Citizenship shit, I feel like that shit should have been an issue. I never really understood the idea of a person coming from Mexico coming here having a baby, and then the baby is American, and then everything else is thrown out the window. That was always suspicious to me, but now that I understand the honorary white people system, I understand what they're doing here. We need to pay attention to all these migrants that they're bringing here.
We don't know what we're getting. They're letting them through with guns, drugs. We could be having sex traffickers here for all we know. We're not demanding that Allied Universal Security or Aero Security Company, that's employed by mostly people here. Why in the fuck are y'all participating in gathering up migrants and bringing them here and then protecting? So I just feel like it's a lot of other things we could chop up other than this Travis Randolph murder trial. I get it, he's a black man, but you lay down with the dog, you get fleas. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it. I like it.
All right, appreciate that, brother. I have to say this here. I watched. I remember from time he came out of high school when he went to Florida State. He was from down south in Palm Beach. I'm here in Florida as well, so I watched his whole career at Florida State. He was pretty much always a soft-spoken type person. He made national attention back in 2016 when Florida State went to one of the local elementary schools here in Florida, and he went and he sat down next to this kid. This kid that was autistic, white kid, autistic, because they do work in the community and stuff. But the kid was autistic, eating by himself and whatnot. So Travis sat down and he ate with him. And then that kid's mother shared that video online, and it just went viral. And everybody had an affinity for him and whatnot. He was never in any trouble. He was always a pretty decent kid. He left school a year early to declare for the NFL draft when a lot of people thought, well, maybe you should come back. But nonetheless, he went. The week of the NFL draft, his father was moving some furniture in the club. The furniture he was moving had a loaded gun in it. The gun goes off and kills the father the week of the actual draft, 2-3 days before the actual draft. Travis goes undrafted. He ends up playing for making it to the New York Giants practice squad, which, he's making $300,000-$400,000 a year. So even though a lot of people felt he should have came back, nonetheless, he got decent money. So he made it there. He played with New York maybe a year or two, and then he ended up. I know he battled injuries. He ended up going to the Miami Dolphins on their practice squad, and he ended up tearing his ACL, I believe, pretty soon as he got there. So after that, he was out of NFL. Next thing you know, he was in the Canadian Football League. That's the BC level of football, Canadian version. So Canadian Football League's been around a long time. You've had a few great players, including Warren Moon, come through the Canadian Football League. He was up there. He was on the team. And as soon as he was on the team, he ended up getting arrested. And when he got arrested for this issue right here, he got cut. So this has impacted the brother's life here. It's really ruined his chances of having a professional career. So I myself, like I say, following him, covering him, never hearing anything negative about him, I myself, and knowing about this story, hearing this story, felt the need to go ahead. And it's been out there in Florida. We got newspapers and everything, and people are talking about it. But I felt the need to go ahead and speak on it because, hey, the fact of the matter that this happened to him and the way this happened, a lot of people felt this shouldn't even went to trial. To stand your ground. We saw George Zimmerman kill a 17-year-old boy that he stalked, that he confronted, that he racially profiled. It went to trial, and he was found not guilty. So this thing here, there's 4 people that are going to come to a man's house at nighttime, and with the intent, if we just going by the text from the woman's perspective, she wants him to shoot his shit up. One of the dudes said that he's a dead man walking. Hey, I felt that he had every right to defend himself, and I could be biased, like I said, because like I said, I have grown. I watched him grow up as a teenager to becoming a man. And I felt the pain for him. And when people found out that this story happened a couple years ago, everybody that was a Florida State fan was in utter disbelief. We was like, no, this couldn't happen.
Didn't they come to his house after 10 o'clock?
They came to his house after 12 o'clock.
Oh hell no!
12 o'clock at nighttime. You riding 4 deep. 4 deep.
This is a distraction. That man shouldn't even be in jail. They came to his house disturbing his peace after midnight. This shouldn't even, we shouldn't even be discussing this shit. This shit shouldn't even be. You're right. This shouldn't even be a trial.
And that's what he was trying to get. He was trying to get it thrown out for stand your ground. And then the judge himself said, well, no, this ain't stand your ground here. So this is where we're at. The overwhelming majority, whether it's black or white, feels that this man should be acquitted. Most people feel that he shouldn't even went to trial behind this right here. So that's why I wanted to hold a space on it, because we kept asking. I kept saying, well, damn, when is Travis Rudolph? And I've been talking to people, when is Travis Rudolph? They're like, damn, his trial just started. I'm like, oh, his trial just started? I'm like, oh, well, damn, I got to go ahead and I got to touch up on this right here. So that's why we went ahead and talked about it. You're right. There's much more serious things. Unfortunately, somebody lost their life. And unfortunately,
hold on. When I was making that statement, I wasn't saying it like it was a distraction. Like you shouldn't be talking.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
From America, like they doing this shit to distract us, but not even just to distract us, to run him through the ringer and use him as a motherfucking example. And that's fucking sick.
Yeah, because I feel like this shouldn't even went to trial, to be honest. To be perfectly honest, I don't think this should even went to trial. It's unfortunate that a brother lost his life behind it. You know, I hate to hear something like that, but I don't think this brother losing his life warrants that he should go ahead and also be punished for the rest of his life for simply being at his own house. It's one thing had he come to her house or their house and this transpired, but he was home. And we're supposed to be at our house. We're supposed to be able to protect ourselves and our family and everything else. So people, you're going to come over here and start a fight. And it's a fight insured. He's fighting. His brother comes out there because allegedly his brother sees him, you know, in a fight. So the brother comes out there. It's 4-on-1. The brother like, hey, let me get up in here. I guess they getting, 4 dudes on 2. They got the advantage. He runs up in there and he gets his heat. And unfortunately, you know, this is where we're at today. Let me go ahead and get to
real sad case, brother defending himself. And again, I'll say this is what this government does. You know what I'm saying? Uses us and through our issues to our people. You know what I'm saying? This shit happened how long ago? Like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it happened back in 21.
And isn't it just amazing how this shit come up when all these other serious shits, you know, all these other serious issues, y'all want to bring our brother under the ringer and use him as an example when we got migrants being shipped over here, put in gymnasiums without children. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. This shit just real crazy how America be doing this little shiesty ass shit and then using us as the scapegoats.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and kick it to Dana. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. So, I wanted to ask a question because you brought it up as well, but I don't think anybody, answered it. The question I have, why did the judge throw out stand your ground? Like, why wasn't his situation considered that? Because his firearm, I believe he did have a permit. He was at home, or he owned that home, and I think that was his mom house, but it could have been a home he bought her, or maybe it was his house, but it was still his property. So, and then they came to his house being the aggressor. So why did the judge throw out stand your ground? And I'm glad you did bring up Trayvon Martin, because I think the Trayvon Martin situation, was worse, because that man, George Zimmerman, was literally following and stalking Trayvon. So, because I know there are people up here that are from the South, but why do you think that the judge did not uphold stand your ground?
The only thing I could think, Dana, is the number of shots. They were saying something like 39, 40 shots was fired, and they were saying that he came out his house. Now you have the group of guys that came over there said, they were fleeing, and they saw him with the weapon, and they were fleeing, and they jumped into their car and he shot. So that's the only reason I can think that they could say, well, hey, you know what, we were trying to leave the scene of the actual crime, and he came out and he followed us and he started shooting, and that's how somebody got killed. That's the only thing that I could think of.
So stand your ground is only for you to defend yourself in your home or on your property, So if you start leaving your property, I guess, to chase after their assailants, then it's no longer staying your ground. It seems like it's like a whole lot of gray area.
Now in Texas, that would have been a legal kill. In Texas, they don't give a shit. In Texas, I mean, you had people.
What color you are.
Yeah, in Texas, they've had people chase people around the damn corner, the block, and shoot people and stuff. So in Texas, you're dead, man. They just was like, oh, okay, well, yeah. They came over there, they attacked him, he shot him, he killed him. Oh, I'm sorry, that's stand your ground. But in Florida, is a little bit different, I guess. The only stand your ground thing that I really know in Florida was the Trayvon Martin situation. So that's my only thing that I could think of offhand, Dana, is that, hey, they're saying that, hey, he came outside, he came back and he started firing. He fired about 40 times at the people and this and that, and they were trying to flee, and he shot them. And that's the only thing that I can think. Now, even though he could say, hey, I've been assaulted, my brother was assaulted, this or that or whatever, that's the only thing that I could think of offhand.
Hey, y'all, I'm going to chime in just for a second. Dana, what it seems to be, because Alabama has this same type of law, in Alabama and Florida, it seems to be that the judges have more subjective over these type of cases. So they can actually look at the cases and determine what they think is stand your ground. And I think in Texas, it's pretty much the law says, hey, we don't give a damn. You can shoot them, we don't care.
Okay, so it's the judge's discretion, because in New Jersey,
discretions.
Yeah, so in New Jersey, there's no self-defense. So if that would have happened in New Jersey, he just would have been guilty of murder, which is messed up. So, which is crazy, because if somebody literally break into your home to try to kill you and you end up killing that person, you would still get locked up.
Dana bring a really good, interesting point, because up here in Maryland, they got a crazy ass law where you have to make a effort to get away. Yeah, I'm saying, like, you can't even, it's just sort of like what Dana just said with Jersey, like, he just would have been, it just would have been flat out murder up here. Yeah, I'm saying? So that shit is crazy how you can stand your ground in one part of the country, but then in another part of the country, you can't even fucking defend yourself if a motherfucker come.
We lost you for that last little bit there, brother Muku.
Now, I want y'all to understand, this is why you don't want states having power. This is why you actually want a national centralized government to rule the laws, because when you have states making laws, what do we get? We get these different type of situations. And so when everybody's looking at these cases, they'll say, well, wait a minute now. In Alabama, the judge ruled this way. But over here in New Jersey, the judge ruled this way. See, it confuses everybody. This is why you want some of these laws to be under the federalized constitution and not state constitutions.
Real quick, y'all, let me go ahead and get to let me get the Black Pressure, MF Kush, and then Dana, I'm gonna get back to you after MF Kush speaks. I want to go ahead real quick and touch up on the Trump and the birthright citizenship, and then you'll be the first person after that. So Black Pressure, go ahead, unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, News?
What's up, Pressure?
What's going on? Hey, mine is quick. I just want to ask a question. I'm gonna mute up. I think it was Miss Dana, and I'm not sure. I think she said something about one of the states on the East Coast. There's a no self-defense. I would like to ask her to explain that, because from my understanding, self-defense is common law. It's also written into the Constitution. It's the pretty much, the Constitution explains that you have the God-given right to preserve your life. So I would definitely like to hear the nuances on how that particular state could say there's no self-defense law. And I'll mute up.
All right. Real quick, Dana, you want to answer that real quick, and then I'll get to you, MF Kush.
Yeah, so New Jersey, it's the state of New Jersey. In a nutshell, we don't have self-defense. So we don't have stand your ground. We don't have, it's very strict gun laws. It's very, 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 very hard for you to own a gun or get a permit. They're only really approved permits to gun owners if you work in law enforcement or what do you call it, FBI, criminal justice system. So they have very strict gun laws, and that spills over to our self-defense. And I just pulled it up. It says New Jersey requires that defendant has a duty to retreat first. So the duty is to flee. Going back to what the other person said about Maryland. So yeah, New Jersey has very strict gun laws, and we don't have self-defense laws compared to other states. And it is a state-by-state thing. And I'm glad Professor brought up what he did. I kind of disagree, but that's a great discussion I am going to have on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that title idea.
All right.
Hey, but never said, check this out.
Let Pressure go ahead. Go ahead, Black Pressure.
News, check this out. How do you flee in your own home? Because I've always said this is me. God made me a man. There's certain responsibilities I have just strictly because of my gender. I'm not running in my own fucking house. If God gave me the responsibility to defend a woman and my wife and my children, if you break in my house, the one nigga that's not running is me. My wife and children are gonna run. Nigga, I'm gonna come meet you. So I don't. How do you flee in your own home?
Was that for me to answer? I don't know if he was just making a statement.
I think he was just making.
I'm just kind of just speaking into the atmosphere.
Yeah, he was just making a statement, and I mean.
Yeah, I mean, no, but just real quick, you're right. It is crazy and it's stupid, but if the state of New Jersey, if you quote unquote defend yourself and that assailant ends up dead or really harmed, you're going to get arrested. Now, you may get bail later, but you're going to get arrested. You're going to get booked. It's crazy in New Jersey, yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to MF Kush. MF, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, family. Shout out to everybody in the room. There is something that I just want to bring that partially is close to this, but it may be a little bit off topic. It's family business. There's a brother that needs help. If I may, Newstoter, if that's okay.
You said, I'm sorry, MF, you said if somebody that needs help?
It's one of our family members that needs help.
Okay, go ahead real quick.
Okay. There's a brother that I've recently met at the FBA Expo. His name is Joel C. on his Twitter app. His wife recently reached out to me, and his brother told me and sent me video of the police over a course of weeks circling his home, basically targeting him. There was a processor that was supposed to be sent to the home to send legal paperwork of some sort, and this processor lied and said that this brother physically assaulted him, which caused our brother to be arrested today under false charges. I had a Twitter space with his wife. It is recorded. I do have it in the comments, and my page is unlocked. I would appreciate it if people can please bring awareness to this, because just like how we lost that 14-year-old brother today, of the people lying and trying to say people are stealing and all that other shit, is the same way how black men die when people start trying to say that there are black men out there assaulting them and lying on them, and knowing damn well that that brother didn't do anything, because that's not the kind of people that we are. We are peaceful people. We defend our family at all costs. So the space is recorded. His wife sent me doorbell footage, and this brother did say to me in a DM, he said to me, if I do disappear or if I go missing, I did not kill myself. I did not go crazy. I not love my family. So if you guys are able to reach out to this sister, I would greatly appreciate it. And I have my page unlocked for a reason. So if you guys are able to please retweet the space, I've sent it to some of you guys in a DM. It would mean a lot to that sister. Don't do it for me. Please do it for that sister and make sure that our brother comes home back alive to his family. So I don't want to see anybody on a t-shirt. And I'd be damned if I see anybody in this room, whether y'all like me or not, become a hashtag. Please and thank you.
Could you send me the information? This is got it.
It's already in your DM.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, MF. We'll definitely go ahead and retweet that out. Let me go ahead real quick. And I want to go ahead and touch up on this thing with the Trump and the birthright citizenship. But you guys are free to come back to this actual subject as well, too. These are going to be the two topics tonight. We're talking about the Travis Rudolph murder trial. that's going on here in Florida, South Florida, and we're talking about Trump was saying that if he becomes president again, what he's going to do with an executive order. So we're going to touch up on that real quick. Professor DJ, y'all too, because I'm going to go ahead and go to the actual page. I didn't get a chance to print that out, even though it was curated off the site. I'm going to go to the actual page and read that, so we know sometimes how funny this app can be when you actually go to the site and read. So after each few lines or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that the space is still okay. So I'll say, can you guys still hear me okay?
Hey, just go ahead and read it. We'll let you know, bro. That kind of messes up the context as you're reading it, you know what I mean?
All right. This is from The Hill. Give me 1 second. This is from The Hill. It's up in the Jumbotron on the far right-hand side, too. It says, Trump pledges to end birthright citizenship on the first day in office. Former President Trump is returning to his cause to remove birthright citizenship with his 2024 White House campaign announcing Tuesday he will seek to end it via executive order on his first day in office. Trump announced his plan on the 125th anniversary of the United States versus Wong Kim Ark. The Supreme Court case established the constitutional right to birthright citizenship. The proposal echoes a long-time demand of immigration restrictionists and a measure Trump toyed with while in office, attracting criticism from both immigration advocates and legal experts. Most experts agree that a president does not have authority to end birthright citizenship through an executive order, primarily because the practice is enshrined in the Constitution. The 14th Amendment grants citizenship to those born or naturalized in the United States and subject to jurisdiction thereof. The widely accepted interpretation of the amendment that applies to children born in the United States, regardless of the parents' immigration status, is held since 1898. Supreme Court case involving a U.S. citizen with Chinese parents. The 14th Amendment was adopted after the Civil War to guarantee equal rights for former slaves. Immigration restrictionists argue that excludes the children of other groups like undocumented immigrants from its benefits. As members of the Reconstruction Congress explained in 1866, a narrow exception to the birthright citizenship applied only to the children of diplomats and those born into Native American tribes who were under jurisdiction of a separate sovereign and did not need to comply with all U.S. laws. Right? Amanda Frost, a professor of law at the University of Virginia and author of You Are Not American, Citizenship Stripping from Dred Scott to Dreamers. In contrast, immigrants and their children living in the United States were and are required to follow all federal and state laws or face criminal and civil penalties and are fully subject to the nation's jurisdiction. According to Trump, the Trump campaign, the executive order will explain the clear meaning of the 14th Amendment, which it says is that children of foreign nationals born in the United States are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States as defined in the Constitution. During Trump's term in office, a draft executive order to the effect was circulated, and the idea was revived shortly after Trump lost to President Biden in the 2020 election. But Trump had floated ending birthright citizenship early in his presidency. Trump in 2018 said in an interview that he planned to issue an executive order ending birthright citizenship, setting up a political firestorm. It was always told to me that you needed a constitutional amendment. Guess what? You don't, Trump said at the time. While the executive order altering the interpretation of the 14th Amendment will likely face challenges, its proponents sought to take the case to the courts in hopes of getting a favorable Supreme Court outcome. Supporters of the measure lauded the idea of birthright citizenship. This will set up a court fight. The order will be enjoined. Case will eventually reach the Supreme Court, and then we'll have to rule on the meaning of subject to the jurisdiction, wrote the Mark Carrigan Center for the Immigration Studies restructionist group that calls for massive reductions in immigration, yet Trump did not trigger that court fight on the way out of the White House. Like in 2016, Trump has sought to make immigration and border security a top campaign issue. All right, so we'll go ahead. Dana, I know you had your hand up before, but you answered that question that Black Pressure asked you. Did you want to go ahead and say something else, or you good?
I didn't know. Maybe my hand came down by accident. I don't know. But the Trump thing, I mean, I think it is a good thing we won't have no more anchor babies. But I think definitely going forward, we should be having more discussions about immigration, particularly the creation of sanctuary cities, because I think we have this notion that a lot of this stuff just happened in recent years. And I was doing a little bit of research about illegals in sanctuary cities, and actually it started with Chicago was the focal point, Chicago and San Francisco, under a black mayor being that and put that, and it just, took effect up into today. But yeah, I support Trump. I will be voting for him again. And I think black people should switch over to the Republican Party and start supporting these type of laws, and also supporting more laws specifically for African Americans. And we definitely need an anti-hate bill as well. So yeah, I support it.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Like I say, guys, y'all more than free to go back to the actual Travis Rudolph topic as well, too. These are just the 2 topics for the night, so I wanted to go ahead and get that out there, but you're more than free to go back and discuss that as well, too. Let me say real quick, in the Jumbotron on the far right-hand side, let me see what that... The 4th on the far right-hand side, we have the YouTube channel up in the actual Jumbotron. Last night, we was able to get 4 people to subscribe to the channel, which is pretty decent. So let's see if we can go ahead and get some more subscriptions tonight. The 4th on the right-hand side is the actual YouTube channel. Go ahead. If you have not, please subscribe to that. Definitely go ahead. While the space is going, you can go ahead and subscribe while that's on. Also, if you can, for those that's able to, please think about making a donation to Newstoter.com. Newstoter is the largest and the biggest black curation platform today in America. Once again, that is Newstoter. That's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Once again, that is $Newstoter. Let me get to Brother Moku. And Brother Moku, thank you. I see you just donated on Cash App. Let me get to Brother Moku, and I got you Volvo as well too, and anybody else that wants to come up and speak and talk about the topic tonight. So far we was able to get Dana. She's the only sister that came up here, but we see a couple of our other sisters down there in the actual listening section. So if you guys get a chance to come on up here, please come on up here. We love to hear what the sisters have to say in the actual Twitter spaces as well too. So go ahead, you got it, Brother Moku.
I will say this. I'm gonna say, as far as Trump and the birthright shit, I don't look at that shit as some shit for us. I mean, clearly it's some shit that's gonna benefit us, but he ain't doing that shit for us. So I'm still holding Trump fucking feet to the fire as far as reparations. That nigga said he wasn't for reparations, so I'm like, yeah, all right, you doing the birthright shit, but that's clearly for you and your white supremacist clan. And if I ever had a chance to speak to Trump, I would say it just like that. As far as what you gonna do for black people, what the fuck you gonna do for black people to get our vote? Cause sure enough, we ain't falling for that motherfucking banana in the tailpipe shit again. Just cause you doing this birthright shit, you ain't gonna pass that off as no shit that you doing for us. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as Travis Randolph, the black crusher, I just want, cause I was the one that said that about Maryland. Yeah, Dana was absolutely 100% on point. You know what I'm saying with that? I felt like that shit was crazy as hell. I'm a concealed gun, license holder, and even still, I have insurance because they even told me when I got my license that if you are in the event where you have to defend yourself, you're still going to be arrested, and you have to have this $2 million, insurance basically. So, it's $2 million worth of bail money, basically what it is. Because no matter if you're in self-defense or anything, you're always going to get arrested. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like that shit was kind of crazy as shit. Even thinking about that shit, how white people have murdered black people. And when I got my quotation fingers up on this stand your ground shit, and they out of jail within fucking, hours. I mean, you just got a Korean lady that was about to kill a black boy, accusing him of doing some shit, never interacted with him in a store, and she was out in less than an hour. Like, this shit is really fucking crazy how they got these stupid ass laws, especially up here in Maryland, Jersey, Philly, where they allow us to get gun licenses, and if we got to defend ourselves, we still get arrested, and you still got to go through all the bullshit. But if you're white, if you got the complexion, you ain't got to go through none of that shit. I feel like that shit is really fucking crazy, because then we get Trump doing shit like this birthright citizenship shit, which I feel like is a good move, because that shit worked crazy when you can have a child whose parents weren't citizens here, but since they were born here, they fuck around and get their parents' citizenship on the back end. Like, I don't never hear nobody talking about that shit. So it's a good thing that he's doing this shit, but I'm not going to say that he's doing this shit for black people. I think as far as black people go, as far as FBA freedmen, whatever you want, label yourself, you non-white, we should be still demanding that motherfucker, you know, to make sure that reparations is given across on a federal level. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother Muku. Let me give a shout out to my man Trenton Makes. Trenton, thank you for your donation on Cash App as well. Let me go ahead and kick it to Volvo. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, appreciate you letting me speak again, brother. Yeah, as far as the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship shit, Trump is absolutely right. I hope Trump do get elected. It don't make no sense for you to just come over here and have a baby, and now your baby is a citizen. That's how we get shit like Akon, anchor baby shit. You know what I mean? You know, these motherfuckers that come over here 14 months pregnant and just share the baby out as soon as they get over here, and then, you know, my baby is a citizen, I get to stay, I gotta raise my child. You know what I mean? That shit been a scam. And it was never intended for them. It was intended for us. If y'all been paying attention, I'm gonna say late last year, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, has been speaking about that. She's been speaking about that heavy. She's been contesting that. So this has been on the books. You can Google that right now. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, 14th Amendment. She been rebuking that. She would been saying that that's not for them. That's for the descendants of slaves. So that's been something that's been that's been just something that's been, what I want to say, taken out of context. You know what I mean? So you know, I feel as though that's a great thing. You know what I mean? We really did sleep on Trump as black people. We really did. Like, Trump didn't. All of his policies make perfect sense. It make perfect sense. The reason why black people got a problem with Trump, not because of Trump, because every time I ask a black person, what exactly do you got a problem with Trump? They don't really got no real answer. It's always some vague answer, like you're supposed to just go against. You know what I mean? All of his policies make perfect sense. It's the Trump supporters. That's what it's Trump's base. That racist, white supremacist base. That's where we've been having a problem at, and we confusing the two. I have no problem with Trump's policy. Said he wanted to build a wall. He said that before he got elected. Look at what's going on now. You know what I mean? We got these people just flooding the country. He been speaking about birthright citizenship. That's the dumbest shit ever. That you can. It's people literally catching flights to America. 2 years pregnant, catching a flight to America, holding on to the baby until they visa clear, and then coming over here. As soon as they get off the plane, as soon as they get over American airspace, they my water broke. Water been broke. They holding the baby in it. They sticking bottles up in them and giving the baby Similac while the baby's still in the womb. And they come over here, shit out of baby, and then the baby is a citizen, and now you gotta let me stay. That's the most ridiculous shit ever. You know, they've been gaming the system for a while, and the reason why Trump and them want this to end is because they understand if you keep letting these people come over here, the demographics of the country is going to really change. They not being affected by it too much right now, but it will affect them in the future. I'm not going to go too far into that. I appreciate you letting me speak, brother.
All right. Let me give a shout out real quick to the co-host, DJ, and Professor for their contributions on Venmo and PayPal. Definitely appreciate that, fellas, as always, for your support. Let me go ahead real quick and get to go to Dana, get you Trouble, and get you in there, Black Pressure, and get you back, brother Muku, as well. And anybody else that wants to speak, just raise your hand if you're in the speaker section or request to come up here.
Yeah, just real quick. New Jersey and the gun laws, Beadmore, he made me remember it. Even if you have a permit to have a gun, you have to keep it in your home locked up. So you can't even carry it concealed outside unless you are officer of the court, police officer or licensed armed security or whatever. So regular citizens, you have to keep your gun locked up. And if somebody break in, you have to flee. And if you shoot them, and God forbid if they end up dying, you're going to get locked up. So it's totally crazy. And again, thank you, Professor, for that topic idea. And on to the immigration. But I do have to, I don't know who was the last person that spoke on Trump. I think it was B-More. I agree with what he was saying. But at the same time, when it comes to reparations and Black people, we don't need to keep making the same mistakes we did under Obama. And when Trump initially ran, when they was throwing Ice Cube under the bus for wanting to meet with Trump, and he actually had an agenda, Ice Cube. So we have to understand it's not a politician's job to give us anything. It is our job to tell them what we want and present them with the agenda and put the pressure on them to get it done. And just because a person is a Republican, we shouldn't shun people who are trying to speak on behalf of Black America and, they have a sound plan for Black America. Like I said, for example, Ice Cube. So I agree with him. It's just that I think we just need to take the initiative more this go around and keep the pressure on everybody, federal and state. And that's it.
Thank you, Dane. Let me give a shout out real quick to Original. Thank you for your contribution as well, too. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to Miss Trouble. Miss Trouble, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out everybody in the space. Hope everyone's doing well, as always. I'm going to be brief, Professor.
That's what's up, New Tyler.
Whatever. Anyways, I came in the space a few minutes late, so I don't know about the Travis Randolph, what everyone's sentiment on that is. But from what I did read, the girlfriend had told the brother that, she had texted her people to have them come shoot the shit up, and she admitted that. But also the article stated that, it was only one person who was not the guy who got shot that actually had a gun. And so if that's true, while I believe in defending yourself, because, when you're in that type of a situation, I can never believe the girl was like, I'm going to have my brothers come over here and fuck you up. I'm going to have to shoot this shit all the way up, so you're going to be in self-defense mode. But if the person that you're arguing with and talking to doesn't present your firearm and you present yours, that kind of makes it a difficult situation. So I don't really have a strong opinion on that one until I see a little bit more. But it's a tough situation because I think it was, involving two Black people. So, there's that. As far as the Trump and the Birthright Citizen thing, it sounds good. And that's always been, my main problem with Trump is Trump says a lot of things that sounds good. However, when you look at it from a legal aspect, you're not able to do everything that you say you're going to do from a legal aspect. I don't think, according to what I read, that a president can come in. Now, executive powers allow you to do some wonderful shit. You can get a lot done with that. But Birthright Citizen is part of the 14th Amendment, and I don't think that as a president you can come in day one and put an executive ordered in to just arbitrarily end birthright citizenship. It sounds citizenship. It sounds good, but I don't think that that's something that you can do. When it comes to Trump and the Republicans as a whole, and the Democrats just alike, and I've always stated this, I don't like to separate my crackers. They all the same to me. White men speak with a forked tongue. And so it's nothing that's going to truly benefit us as Black people, because we all know even when they do certain things like this here, what they really do is stop the birthright citizenships of Black folks that might come into this country, and not the Hispanics or the other people. That was just like with Trump talking about, against all of the immigrants that was coming in, while at the same time hiring all of them to work inside of his house. So it's the hypocrisy for me. And it's the fact that we look at certain things that these crackers be saying and be like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I want that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to vote for him just because, when in reality, can he actually do that? And will he actually do that? The proof is in the pudding that he won't. And I'll land on that.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure again. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
News, go ahead and skip me and come back to him. I'll be done with this in a few seconds.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get to Brother Muku again. Brother Muku, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Dana, what Dana was saying, I definitely feel like, and I was definitely one of those ones, as far as when Ice Cube was, presenting. I was definitely for that. I feel like bosses need the people bosses, not spokesmen. And I felt like that move when Ice Cube did it, at the time he did it, it was definitely a boss move. And unfortunately, he didn't have the support, or all of the support of us as a collective like he should have, as far as that. These gun laws, I had to agree with Dana again, and I try not to agree or disagree with anybody, but I have to agree with it again, although I'm one that violates that. I carry my firearm, you know what I'm saying? I get funny looks from police, all that shit, but hey, they look at me funny, they come up to me, I present my motherfucking paperwork, and long as it's concealed, that's the point. It's supposed to be concealed. You ain't supposed to have that shit in visual sight. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was told when I got my license. You know what I'm saying? As far as when I carry it out on the street, I keep my shit concealed. I mean, I'm sure policemen, as far as with their training, I'm sure they can tell that I have a firearm. I'm sure sometimes when I bend over, you can see a holster on my fucking on my waistband. But I haven't had a situation where I had to throw my gun, use it. I only have it because I carry, large sums of money around a lot of times. So, with these gun laws, the thing that's crazy about these migrants and these illegals that's coming across is, look, they ain't got to worry about none of this. They can get guns without even getting a license. And that's the crazy shit, because they already had this shit implemented down in Texas, and we see all the shit that's going on down in Texas with these motherfucking school shootings, with these Walmart shootings. All this shit is possible because they ain't got to go through no holes to go get no guns. All they got to do is go straight to the gun shop, cop the gun, no check. We already don't know who these motherfuckers are, so by the time they get over here, they can get whatever type of ID. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is a big shitstorm. You know what I mean? What Trump is doing, yeah, I get it. It's all good. But nigga, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, just like Dana said, we all got to hold this motherfucker feet to the fire as far as making Black people a protected class. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear not even Obama. That's why I didn't vote for that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't talking about making Black people a protected class, but you can make a motherfucker that identifies as orange as a protected class. Yo, we got problems. I've been had problems with these snakes. And I ain't gonna stop having problems until these motherfuckers either fork up some reparations with an anti-Black hate bill. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no or it's with. You know what I'm saying? Because once you give me my money, you better give me my protection. Or I'm definitely going to start using this gun on my head.
Real talk. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Fred. Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. As far as this birthright citizenship, the 14th Amendment was written strictly and solely for black people who came over during slavery, and the children that we had who got automatic citizenship. That was written strictly and solely for black people. Now, you're talking about this. One problem I always had with these gun laws, even when it comes to the Castle Doctrine, Stand Your Ground, all of those have been put out there to go against black people. Now, if you ask me, I would say, hell, only people who should have guns should be law enforcement. Or if somebody has it and they use it within their own house or property. Because here's why. We all know that until the judicial system is fair, you cannot go out there and pass a law like Stand Your Ground. When you take a look at people like George Zimmerman, this dude who strangled the dude on the train. When you take a look at that white man who shot that black man down in Florida at that gas station. Anytime somebody who discharges their firearm and they're not on their property, in their house, they should automatically, just for discharging it, get 5 years. If they shoot somebody, give them a minimum of 40 years. If they kill somebody, give them either life or death. Now, the reason why they're scared to pass that is because they know white folks are too crazy. They're too gun crazy. They'll start another American Revolutionary War instantly. But until they start getting it fair in the judicial system, I would say, hell, if you guys are going to treat this black man defending himself that much differently for doing basically something more just than George Zimmerman, then I say get rid of the guns from everybody. And anybody who's caught outside of their own house or property discharging a firearm, 5 years, 40 years, life or death. Now,
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that. Good comment. Definitely good comments and stuff. Let me go ahead and I see Brooke. Brooke, you got your other profile up here. What's going on, Brooke?
Hey, Newstoter. Hi. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm here under Valora because it actually feeds in with what I'm hoping to say. I guess, forgive me, I'm a little bit. I'm outside.
Oh, okay. You're not a little bit. You had a gummy or two.
It's on YouTube, so I don't want to put it out there. So, but family to family, yeah. Just give me a moment. So there is some things that people were saying about Ice Cube and about people complaining and about the citizenship, and so I wanted to touch on that. So because it was so eloquently, I was hoping to follow up with that and say, just like the person right before me was mentioning that everything is solely for Black Americans. And to tear us down, we have to keep reminding ourselves and saying out loud, don't forget, this is solely to keep us down. Like everything we see, every policy, every regulation that's ever written, it's basically to keep us down. So when they're talking about the citizenship, I agree that it does raise a red flag. It sounds great on the surface, and it does make me wonder about what does that mean for us in the background. And I will tell you that somebody else, a person much smarter than myself, was very concerned that they will use the removing of the 14th Amendment to mean that we don't have citizenship. And I said to her, well, I don't feel like a citizen right now. I mean, that to me that sounds great if they removed it and we didn't have to go through a civil war, and then we could create our own. You know, if they actually just released us back into the wild, so to speak, we couldn't do any worse. And so, going back to somebody mentioned about Ice Cube and people complaining about him, I realize now that that was the diaspora complaining about Ice Cube. And every time he gets pushback on trying to do something that is specifically for us, our bloodline and our lineage, he gets pushback. But that's not us. That's them. So if we can somehow communicate to him, letting him know that we are behind him, we see the things that he, you know, I saw when he first came out with the Contract for Black America, and I went to go check it out, and it was in some weird format, and I sent him messages like, hey, dude, update it to a PDF so we can just read it. And so, you know, he really does hear us if we say things to, you know, give him shout outs and keep him uplifted. I think that he is one of the only people we see actually doing something real and tangible for us out of umpteen politicians that we keep fucking voting for. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, Black Americans are awesome. Living around us is a privilege that they have taken for granted, and now it's time for us to find a black farmer, find the nearest black farmer in your area. Please contact me in the back channel if you would like to know where a farmer is in your area. I can give you the listing of black farmers in your area. Try to start buying directly from our black farmers. They have lots of really great produce.
New Jersey, I need that list.
Okay, hit me up in the back channel because I'm not going to remember. But yeah, okay, but thank you. The method?
No, Brooke, I was gonna say, Brooke, too. If you ever, if you tweet it out or whatever, just tag me or whatever about the farmers, and I'll go ahead and I'll retweet it out as well, too. So.
Okay.
Hey, look up Method Man weed, Brooke. There you go.
Already know. You already know. All right. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Let me go ahead and
Thank you.
let me go ahead and kick it to Dana. Brooke having a good time tonight, so shout out to Brooke.
Me too.
You there, Dana?
Yeah. Thank you to Trouble and Be More, because I have another title, the 14th Amendment that I am going to talk about on my YouTube channel, because that's a good discussion. Because I looked up Ketanji Brown Jackson oral arguments on the 14th Amendment, and she did quote saying that the 14th Amendment recognizing race is an important part of the constitutional law, and that it was specifically for enslaved, former enslaved people. So, and that is in the actual 14th Amendment. So just to Trouble's point was, you know, he can't change the 14th Amendment, you know, that's in the Constitution. I don't think if he issued an executive order specifically for illegals, that will go against the 14th Amendment. I don't know, but thank you again for bringing that up, because I think that is a good discussion to actually have. Because what if it does? So what does that mean for us, right? And then two, as far as, you know, going back to stand your ground, hashtag Travis Rudolph, when Be More, you know, he's in Maryland, and I always look at Maryland as the gray state, because that's like at the end of the Dixie line. So, and it seemed like the further north you go, the stricter the gun laws are on the East Coast. And New Jersey, when we're talking about 95, that's a racist history of 95. Well, in New Jersey Turnpike, to be more specific, in New Jersey. So if you do, like you said, he carries his gun concealed when he's out in the public, and maybe you're not going to get as much pushback if you were to do that in New Jersey, because they don't know if you're coming in from from Virginia, and you cross over to Virginia, and their gun laws are, Maryland and DC. A good observation. Is something that we do need to talk about when it comes to gun control and gun laws. And then just one last thing with Brooke, the contract for Black America, that was Ice Cube. That wasn't Trump. Trump did the Platinum Plan for Black Americans. And we did push back because the Democrat gatekeepers, those Black people, convinced those Democratic loyalists of Black people to look down or shun Ice Cube for talking to Trump when he was running for president. I think he was already elected or running for president, and he went to talk to him. So we have these Black gatekeepers that convince Black people Trump is a racist. They're all racist over there on the Republicans. And then you have Black people that follow suit. And the only thing I'm saying is, going forward, stop listening to these fake ass gatekeepers on the Democrat side and even on the Republican side. It's just about, it doesn't matter what party, it's just about, us telling them what we need and presenting a Black agenda. And I yield for now.
Okay, guys, let's see if we can get at least, we hadn't got anybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel tonight. So definitely the fourth on the right-hand side. If you guys have not subscribed and you're in the Newstoter Twitter space, please go ahead and subscribe and support us on YouTube. That's the fourth on the right-hand side. You can go ahead and click the actual link to take you to the actual subscribe to the YouTube channel while the actual space is going on. So for those that have not subscribed, please go ahead. We need that support. We're trying to get the space, get the YouTube channel larger. We're able to get about 4 people to subscribe yesterday. We haven't got any subscriptions tonight. So let's go ahead and see if we get somebody to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Pressure, I see you back up here. So go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right. Thank you again, News. So, News, I have to do it. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show my red lightsaber. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to pop it. So I know this has come up a few times. Me and DJ, we've spoken and laughed extensively about this. But I'm always going to, tell the truth first and foremost. Let's be abundantly clear, okay? Donald Trump is a fire-breathing racist, period. Full stop. Can't even debate it. If you can look up the Animal Cruelty and Torture Act. Now, this is what's amazing about the Animal Cruelty and Torture Act. Not only did Donald Trump sign that bill into law, he made it a federal crime to abuse animals. Not a state crime. He made it a federal crime to abuse animals, and it was a bipartisan bill where Donald Trump said, well, forget Democratic and Republican, I'm going to sign this bill. I reiterate, it is a federal crime to abuse an animal, right? What bill, not only did he sign, what bill did he entertain or evoke for protection of Black people from harm? I'm going to leave that there. You can wrestle with that yourself, right? And then I'll move on to the editorial he wrote about the Central Park Five calling for the death penalty. Not only calling for the death penalty, even after they were exonerated by DNA, he said, I will not apologize for calling for the death penalty for those 5 brothers that were obviously innocent and did nothing to that jogger in Central Park. Once again, he said he would not apologize for it. I'll move on. You can go back to the early 70s, before I had entered the world. Trump, he'll say this. I know he'll say this. He was found guilty of housing discrimination, racial housing discrimination. but he settled out of court. I want to say it was so many millions of dollars, but what happened with that, if you go peel the layers back, this like human rights group, what they were doing, they were sending plants into the Trump offices and black people who were overly qualified to rent apartments from him. He was telling those people, oh, there was nothing available. Then the same white plants would go back with lower qualifications. He'd be like, yeah, come on in, we got a spot for you. So once again, I say Trump is a fire-breathing racist, but he's no different from Lyndon B. Johnson, Abraham Lincoln, from Truman. They were fire-breathing racists, but they understood how to position themselves politically as far as being able to understand that you can't run roughshod over black people in America perpetually, or it will equal trouble. You know, we can go with the Emancipation Proclamation with Lincoln, and you could go look that up for yourself. You go with the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act with Johnson. You can go with Truman. I want to say he with what he did with the military, he desegregated the military and all that stuff. So I'll say this. Even though Trump is a fire-breathing racist, there's no doubt, and I call anybody to the carpet to debate that, the Platinum Plan is not reparations. You can do your little song and dance all you want. That is not reparations. That shit is a joke. The Platinum Plan is a total joke. If Donald Trump stood up today and said, hey, I'm signing a bill, just like he did for those animals, signing a bill of reparations for all the descendants of slaves in America, no questions asked. I don't care what anybody says. I would be the first one in line to vote for Donald Trump. As far as that, Ketanji Brown, she cares nothing about black people. Never did. You could look up her history, just like you could look up Donald Trump. I know we're enthralled in a lot of the meme culture and a lot of the YouTube University people, but you could look up this lady. She cares nothing about black people, and her record shows that. And I'll mute up and listen.
All right, pressure going in. Appreciate that black pressure, Brooke. I don't know if Brooke, if you get a chance to go back on YouTube, can you post a thing about the black farmers on YouTube? I know Brooke, she may not be in there, but you had a funny face that's trying to get the information about the actual black farmers. Yeah, Brooke, you in there? Can you post anything on YouTube, because funny face trying to get the information about the black farmers? So if you could put that in the chat, Brooke, that would be definitely appreciated. Dana, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Let me go ahead. I want to get to a new speaker. I want to get to Councilman Brian. Councilman Brian, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Absolutely. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I was on your live the other day when you had some technical difficulties. So.
Yeah, last night it just went out on us, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're back on. So here's one of the things I want to say. And this is why it's so important for black folks to really get involved in politics on every level. And so that way we can have a full seat at the table and not just, following after every bone that gets thrown out the window. Sorry, somebody was trying to call me. This same rhetoric that Trump is mentioning now is the same conversation that he mentioned back in 2018. And even Lindsey Graham had offered and said that he was going to propose a legislation. People need to look up and see exactly, the power that the executive order carry, and then also what it takes to ratify the Constitution. I mean, there's extremely significant amount of hurdles that go into it, which includes the states having a majority of the say-so. So it's not just Congress just introducing the bill to ratify the 14th Amendment, but it has to go through by 2/3 of the votes. Then the states have to ratify it as well to make it a change, which realistically that would never happen. I think it's important for people to really stay the course and put candidates up. I hear about this too a lot, gatekeepers. I see it oftentimes. I ran for Congress last year. I'm running for Congress again in this upcoming election. And so I know all too well about the gatekeepers, those who are afraid to have people that are pushing issues that's going to affect people like us, and what that look like, what that sound like. I think it's really important too that, when I talk about running local, because that's really where politics is controlled at. It's controlled at the local level. I know a lot of the federal seats sound enticing. I'm sitting at a local level now as an elected official. I know exactly the amount of power that I have when it comes to pushing, grant opportunities opportunities in my community and making sure people of color get access to that ARPA fund money that came in. I always encourage people, go to your city council, find out what they did with that American Rescue Plan money, what business access to it, because a lot of people didn't go and apply for it because they wasn't made available. Because unfortunately, you got too many individuals that are more interested in getting reelected than doing what's right. But I left the Republican Party for several reasons. And I just got through having an interview on Dr. Rashard Ritchie's show just a couple of weeks ago, detailing that because they're not in conversation about reparations. So to think that that's going to be an opportunity. I saw somebody posted earlier about the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment has nothing to do, even though he can't ratify it or he can't, with the executive order, the 14th Amendment in their mind has nothing to do with helping Black people. It all has everything to do with destroying DACA, and so that's really what the focus of it is. People can say, well, that could be a pathway to getting towards reparation for Black people. No, the only pathway to getting reparation towards Black people is getting the individuals in office that's going to push it. Right here in California, we need a road to 63. We need 41 assembly votes, 21 Senate votes, and the governor to pass it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it passes. Right now, it's about $500 million funding that's supposed to go to Black schools here in California. It's already passed, but the governor has refused to sign it. Why people's not talking about it, I don't know why, but, it'd be a good time to bring that up. We were just on Capitol Hill, the state capitol, about a month ago, marching and protesting about that money, just asking the governor to sign what the people have already voted on. So at the end of the day, we got to get more involved. We got to be more than just vote. We can't be, memes and videos and, doing, twerking for the vote videos. The minstrel shows is over. We got to really get involved. And I'm talking about not just at the poll, but after the poll. We got to stay going into these council meetings, 50, 60, 100 people. Like the days of the sit-in needs to come back. The days of Black folks demanding what's owed needs to come back. And until we treat our situation like it means something to us, because I even see the turnout with the task force. And I see people that really don't show up. We can say that it wasn't advertised enough. We can go in all those things, but eventually people started to hear about it and still didn't show up. And so if we're not showing up for ourselves, and I see that in my own city, I have to encourage people to come. I just happen to be one of those people that have morals and conscience and want to really care about people. But if we're not showing up and putting a demand on what's available and what's owed, then it's always going to get pushed to people that's constantly keeping these elected officials in. And so that's what I just want to encourage people to do. Like I said, I am running for Congress. I do have a reparations task force. I do have a reparations plan. I got my papers and everything. I actually own the land in my slaves on the North Carolina. So I have the history of my lineage very well documented. And like I said, it's important that we get voices like this that understand what it really means to go in and represent the people.
Thank you, Counsel. Let me ask you a question. What state are you running for Congress in?
I'm in California, District 41.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Riverside County.
Now, I know you've been in the space. It's been a long time, but I know you've been in the space a while ago. So it's good to hear from you.
Man, I don't know if you guys saw that viral video over here at the Temecula Unified School District where the guy was standing over the young Black girl. The white dude that was standing on the young Black. It got like 30 million views. So we've been dealing with that because while everybody's talking about DeSantis in Florida, they just banned the Marietta Unified School District right before they banned the book. One of the trustees said that we need to start teaching the positives of imperialism, and then they voted 3-2 to ban U.S. AP history, which is more detailed understanding of African American history. And in Temecula, they Unified School District, that's when they voted to ban critical race theory in the schools. So we're dealing with some serious racial tension right here in our county.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, and best of luck to you out there as well too in California. Guys, we still hadn't got one subscription, so I'm gonna keep pounding the pavement tonight. It's up there, the fourth on the right hand side. We need you guys. We're trying to get the subscriptions up on YouTube. So let's see if we can go ahead and at least get 1, 2 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe people to go ahead and subscribe, at least 1 or 2 tonight to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know everybody in this space has not subscribed to the YouTube channel. For those that haven't, the 4th on the right-hand side. Also, for those that support Black-owned business, you can support the largest Black-owned news curation media platform today in America on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Once again, that's $Newstoter. If you do not have Cash App, we have the PayPal and Venmo. That is the 4th on the right-hand side. Let me go ahead real quick and get to let's go ahead and get to DJ. You had your hand up for a minute. You want to go ahead and say something real quick before we get to the speakers, because you've been waiting for a minute.
Just let the people talk. Go ahead.
All right. Well, then let me go ahead and get to Dana. Then I'm gonna get to you, Miss Eddings, and Original. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I know my hand be up, down, up, down. I already told you, honey, how to get your subscribers up on YouTube, because everybody in this space probably already subscribed.
They probably did, but I try to get them.
Everybody should share.
Yeah, tweet it out. That's all. If you already subscribed, just retweet it out. So that and a lot of them will do that. They'll retweet it out. So
yeah, but yeah, just real quick. When I think it was Black, when he mentioned about that cruelty, animal cruelty, Trump didn't sign a law. If I heard you right. But he didn't sign a law making it legal to do cruelty to animals. It was the PAC law that he signed preventing animal cruelty and torture. So
it made it a federal crime. Don't forget that. It's a federal crime.
He made it a federal felony to he made it a federal felony if someone is cruel to animals.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay. So what is wrong with that?
Nothing at all. The question that was posed subsequent is, where is that bill for Black people? That was the question.
Oh, okay, yeah, like anti-hate. Right, absolutely. Okay, so that's compare contrast. Right, and so that's what I'm saying. So that platinum plan, no, that wasn't reparations, but he did something, created something specifically for Black Americans. When you look at Biden, hasn't done any of that. Hasn't even sat down Ice Cube, right? But the fact is that where I'm coming from is, let's stop worrying about if they care about us, because of course they don't. They're politicians. Politicians are liars. You never trust a politician. Ketanji, no, she don't really. She's more in line with the LGBTQ and that cult. But what I need her to do is uphold the law, uphold the Constitution. That is your job. Do your job, right? And we need to make sure we're holding people accountable for doing their job. And we can't, I'm just saying, we can't continue to express our dismay for something if we're not presenting a solution ourselves. And I agree with the council. The power is at the local level. That's going to affect us first and foremost. Where's the agenda locally in our own separate states? When we talk about reparations, it is going to start in our states, and then it's going to go up to the federal level. But can it work simultaneously? Of course. So I don't trust politicians. I don't believe in politicians. I don't care if they like me or not. I don't care if they're racist. Dr. Amos Wilson said it best. They are the presenters. We, the people, are the forecasters. And that's how we should be operating when it comes to group politics, the science of politics. So, it doesn't, and when Trump did put out that ad in New York Post for the Central Park 5, Black people, particularly the entertainment, was still trying to get a picture with him, because he was a Democrat or whatever, a liberal up in New York. So Black people still watch The Apprentice. So, I just think we need to start getting our priorities in line when it comes for us, and just solely focus on what we need here in America. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dana. And we did just get a subscriber too. So thank you to the new subscriber. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to Miss Eddings. Miss Eddings, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter. WPI, still I rise. Hey, thanks for letting me speak.
No problem.
I just wanted to give my little anecdote, 2 cents when it comes to Ketanji Brown. there was a segment of people that were upset that she became a Supreme Court justice. I know a lot of black people were very happy all over the United States, but I'm going to tell you anecdotally, there was a group of people that weren't happy, and these are the young black males that went before her in her courtroom. From me talking to them, they all were excited to get her as their presiding judge because not only did she not super sentence them, she also gave them a lesson, and they have a whole set of plan while they're doing their federal time. So to the person that said that she don't care about black folks, I would beg to differ. And if you came up here and you spoke to these young black men that's been in her courtroom, they would tell you something differently. So I only wanted to say that. Thank you.
All right.
I didn't say she didn't care though. That wasn't me.
I was talking about the young man.
Oh, the guy.
Yeah, I said she cared nothing about black people.
All right. Thank you, Miss Eddings. Let me go ahead and get to Original. Original, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good tonight. I have a question for Councilman Hawkins. Councilman Hawkins, I see you say you're running for a congressional seat, and you switched from the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, to the Democratic Party. I was conducting a little bit of research, and I was looking at these caucuses, like the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, the Congressional Asian or ASP, whatever they call caucus. Now, when it came to the Congressional Black Caucus, they said they fight for African Americans and marginalized people. But I'm trying to figure out who are these marginalized people, because it appears that they seem to be fighting for these marginalized people and not giving a crap about black folks. I looked at the Hispanic Congressional Hispanic Caucus, their little bio or whatever, and they said they fight for the Hispanic people, and same thing with the with the Asian Caucus. So if you were to be elected to a congressional position, and if you were to join the Congressional Black Caucus, would you present to them that that people and times have changed, and that the Congressional Black Caucus need to change their format versus, and they need to be specific when they speak, instead of using these ambiguous words like marginalized people, people of color, and things of that nature. Why can't they just come out and do what the other caucuses are doing? They are just fighting for their people. If you could give me some feedback on that, please.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate that. So I want to be clear on something. There's only one way that I'm going to be able to win this seat, and it's going to really come from the shoulders of people like those who are on these lives. It's the reason why I come into these spaces. I'm not your typical politician. I know you hear this a lot, but in 2009, May 20, 2009, I paroled from a level 4 prison after doing 10 years in prison. So what I mean by I'm not your average type of politician, I didn't run, with an agenda to appeal to any party. The reason why, I was a registered Republican when I turned 18, and I've been that way until, I was in prison the whole time. My first time voting was in 2016, and I voted for Hillary Clinton. So, people look at Republican, they get lost in that mindset. I'm one of those brothers that come to really, represent the people. And so the only way I'm going to be able to bring this agenda up is people power, focus on the people. I already got the DCCC, they picked their candidate. They already got their candidate that's running. The Republican Party, they already have their candidate that's in that seat for 30 years. And so I'm going to need, places like this and to take people like this to DC with. And yeah, I have no problem with going against individuals and calling people out. As a matter of fact, if you guys go and look, you'll see me calling out my own, constituents on the diocese in my council meetings for some of the messes they've been bringing out in the communities. I don't have a problem with, I'm still street. I don't mind checking. So when I ran for Congress last year, I called the incumbent a coward for the way they responded to some of the things. So, I'm bold when it comes to it, and I read just as much as you do about the Black Caucus. I feel like a lot of our elected Black officials have let us down for far too long. They've gone along to stay in that seat. And at the end of the day, this election would give the people the exact power that they've needed. Somebody that don't come from the establishment, but was handpicked by the people.
Right, I understand that.
Okay, real quick, original, real quick. I want to say this right here, guys. I don't want to go too far off the topic. I know, I want to try to stay on the topic as much as possible, as long as we can center back around to what we're actually talking about. Linking it back to Trump and the birthright citizenship, I'm cool with that, but I don't want to get too far off the topic.
Okay, not a problem. Well, let me say this about Trump. I don't trust any of these people. Trump. Like I said, it's like I've always said. If he can't come out and say specifically what he's going to do for Black folks, then I just can't vote for him. Because for too long we allow people to come to us, and they give us a song and dance routine, and some people go back to that emotional, religious perspective, and then nothing get done. So I'm kind of in line with what Black Pressure was saying earlier about some of the things that he's passed. Like, I remember when he signed that federal anti-animal bill. So if you attack an animal, you're gonna get some federal time. But people need to come out and say exactly what they're going to do for us. Because if you have nothing specifically for us, I'm not sorry, but I just can't vote for you, and I'll land on that.
All right. Thank you, original. Yeah, everybody. I don't mind a little bit veering off the topic, but we want to try to go ahead because we got the Travis Rudolph situation, the murder trial, and we're talking about the Trump birthright citizenship. So as long as we can go ahead and try to keep it on there, we'll be fine or whatever. Also, I see Be More Codified. I got you coming up. DJ got you. Mr. Engaging, I know you haven't had a chance to speak. I did see your comment in there. So, yeah, I saw a comment that you just posted. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you speak, man. You got it.
Oh, my bad. I was flipping through. Yeah, I did post a comment. What's up, family? I wasn't really feeling this Travis Randolph thing. I see a Black young man, a Black man who's doing the right thing in America, got his permit. He's exercising his rights in the safety of his home. And we have a woman who weaponized and mechanized that situation and put that man in a situation right now where he's sitting in front of a judge fighting for his damn life. I'm not really cool with that personally because I was a victim of proxy violence when it comes to certain people in our community, and I think it's something that does need to be called out, and it's something that should be punishable by law. If just a word of advice to some women, stop messing with these dudes that you know that you can't really have a good relationship with. I feel like some women mess with these dudes that could be questionable. And I'm not saying that this brother Travis is one of them, but I feel like some women put our people in a bad position, and then we got some women in our community try to disarm us and say that we don't need no guns, knowing what the shit we're going through. So it's like a hit on both ends personally, and I'm kind of offended by this Travis thing because this brother's locked up in a clinic because this woman got mad because she didn't like this, that, and the third. So I'm going to send my cousins to do this, that, and the third. That's a bad look. And it happens and it plays out to our community so much all the time. millions of brothers have died over this crap, man. Have died over this crap. So I'm really offended that nobody even speak to this aid of this brother, didn't speak to the aid of this situation, and not really look at it and call it for what it is. I find it disingenuous that we could like someone like man, come on, man. This brother's fighting for his damn life. Man, I'm gonna leave it like that. He's fighting for his damn life, and that's a damn shame. Now we're gonna go to Trump and his birthright citizenship. I don't think people remember back when the Haitian people were crossing the border and they were some of the Black Americans over. It's about this birthright thing. I think it's something directly hands on that conversation. I feel like, how can I say it? I feel like this whole situation is like they pivoted. We talk about reparation, they want to bang on something else. I find that that's disrespectful because, like, we're not banging on that. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about this. I don't care about what your gender is. We're talking about this. And I feel like this man is being disrespectful. Like, I let you slide with the platinum plan, Trump. We let you slide with that, you know? With that BS plan. Ain't no real reparations tied to it, you know? But nah, you can't slide in this 2024. It's a new season. It's a new season. So like, yeah, you gotta put in some work, man. You gotta put in some work. You're gonna have to till that planet until we get what's owed. So that's just my take on that whole Trump situation. Yeah, I'm side-eyeing on that birth citizenship, and that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Engaging. Let me give a shout out to Wayne. Wayne, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Appreciate it as always for your support. Let me go ahead and get to Be More Codified. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
My brother keep coming back up, but I want to touch on what Commander said, and ain't no put up another good ass point. They ain't get no cylinders tonight, girl. I'm gonna tell you like this, Miss Black Lady. She said something real unique. For all the people that are fighting for justice, which is, I assume, everybody in the space. We fighting for, reparations, all these things, and we'll go and watch something like The Apprentice. You know what I'm saying? Watching some shit, trying to develop a friendship with Trump. Trump is not our friend. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no friends. You know what I mean? We treat Trump just like the next white supremacist. I'm glad Black Pressure made that a point. He a white supremacist, period. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if he passed this birthright shit. We still want what we want. And we ain't letting up off of that. And back to Travis Rudolph, Commander made a really good point. I haven't heard a lot of females say anything about this girl's treacherous ass behavior. You know what I'm saying? For as many conversations as I hear of Black women denouncing Black men's protection, for this girl to call her brothers or her family up on some bullshit like that, and then have this man killed and nobody even blame this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is your fault. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Commander made a really good point. Yo, all this shit happened because this girl got mad. Like, there's so many conversations I've heard about Black men protecting Black women. You know what I'm saying? But then when an actual man come up and protect a Black woman, quote unquote, and I got my big ass quotation fingers up, because this shit was tacky off the rip. You know what I'm saying? But especially allegedly if this chick was married. You know what I'm saying? If she was married, where's her husband at even speaking on this damn, debauchery? You know what I'm saying? What she has created. But I don't on a collective. I don't see enough women, and I do see a few. Like a shout out to my girl FBA Empress. You know what I'm saying? Because she always, you know what I'm saying, reprimanding her sisters. Not on no hatred shit, but just checking them. You know what I'm saying? There's many brothers out there checking brothers, even in these spaces. We be going back and forth. Niggas be holding spaces checking each other. You know what I'm saying? But as far as with women and this black girl's actions, I haven't seen any women in the press. I mean, since the 2 years since this shit happened, I ain't really seen too many black women. And I'm not saying it's been none, because it's been a few, but I haven't seen it as a collective. Black women checking black women for this bullshit ass behavior like this. You know what I'm saying? She caused that man his life, his family. I mean, he was a brother. You know what I'm saying? He was a son. He was a father, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Damn sure might have been an uncle. You know what I'm saying? A cousin. You know what I'm saying? So she, you know, because of her actions, because she got mad, this is the ending of all that. And I think that was real unfortunate. And thank you for even bringing that up, Commander, because I haven't heard any women checking this woman on. I mean, when I say any women, I'm talking about women from her family. You know what I'm saying? This was her brother. Where's her mother checking her ass for this? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know we supposed to keep shit in the family, but it gotta be more of an outpour, I feel, from the women. And I'm just saying, because of this situation and how it panned out, how it just unfolded. You know what I'm saying? Because she got mad, this man got murdered, this man doing time. This sound like almost like the little piggy went to the market. This little piggy did this, and this little piggy got none. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this sound like a fucking shown up nursery rhyme. And when I look at it, damn, the actions even look like the actions of children. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't me playing on words. This is just me observing. You know what I'm saying? Words are very, very, very important. You know what I'm saying? Words get shit done, and it also stops shit from happening. And unfortunately, it got this life taken, and this man behind bars. You know what I'm saying? All on some shit because somebody got mad. That's crazy. But I land there. Thanks for bringing that point up too, Dana, bro. You know, and we gotta stop. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring another point. We gotta understand that we're not trying to be equal to evil. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna make a suggestion that we all get that out of our mouths when we saying we fighting for equality. We ain't fighting to be equal to these fucking demons. We fighting for justice. That's something above that. We fighting for something else. Like so I think we should get that narrative out of our mind, because I think that's where we get caught in this trap and this gerbil, what they call that shit, the gerbil ring that they be running in. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's why we get caught in that, because we asking and we demanding for the wrong. So we're not fighting for equality. We're not fighting to be equal to these white supremacists. We fighting to eliminate white supremacy, to eliminate their supreme position that they're in, eliminate that shit and create a whole new other lane, a justice lane. You know what I'm saying? Where we can guarantee that nobody will get harmed and guarantee that whoever need help get the most constructive help. See, that's some shit they never ever seen before. I've never seen it. I don't think any of my ancestors ever seen it. But that's the shit that we fighting for. And I think we need to really, really start being laser beam focused with our words. You know what I'm saying? So I'll land there.
Right, Brother Muku. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get to Dana. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, that last part would be more. That's another great title that I wrote down that I will be discussing on my YouTube channel in the future. Thank you.
You came away with a few ideas tonight, huh?
Yes. But going back to the Travis Rudolph situation, because at first I wasn't going to come on a Twitter space. I'm like, yeah, he's a football player, and I thought that this is going to be a space where men is going to come up and voice their dismay, and how they feel about not just with this case, but what's going on throughout this nation, society as a whole, trying to emasculate men, particularly Black men. And what I'm hearing tonight, I think that everybody's being nice and respectful, the men, even Commander. And I get it, because the way things are set up, the Me Too with these Black feminists, and you don't want to admit it, but you really have to look at the situation. Are Black women the enemy now? Aligning with quote unquote white supremacy. And I don't like that term, because white supremacy is not always placed just on white people, because every single government, country in this world practice that. But either way, just going back to this. So let me just say this, because you could say bitch on YouTube to Newstoter, just to let you know, and you're already 2 hours in. The bitch, it's okay to call, she's the bitch. And I think men got to understand that you don't trust bitches. You don't trust us. You got to watch women nowadays. Because when it's all said and done, yeah, we are bitches at the end of the day. You don't trust nobody. They're saying that she was married, so not only you a bitch, you a slutty bitch on top of that. But the problem is the bitch. And I appreciate it, but I don't appreciate how the men were being very respectful tonight. And I know it's a lot of things that you probably want to say or thinking of saying, and you probably say in your own home to people that you know personally. And that should not be the case. You should be able to have a platform and a voice to display, your concern, because this is a concern. But this has been happening throughout history, where women put themselves in positions to yell out accusations against a man, and now a whole war is starting. When we talk about, Emmett Till, the bitch, he died at the hands of a bitch. So that is a problem. And there's nothing wrong with calling a woman a bitch, especially if she is one. So I said it. I'm always calling a female bitch, and I call them mammies, and I call them all that. But I am starting to see that men are watching what they say, because you end up losing your career. So, and this, I didn't know this case 2 years ago, but now that it's live, you can watch it every day live on YouTube on Law and Crime. It wasn't until I saw her video when she took this stand, I think it was yesterday, and her disposition. She had a nasty, funky, mammy disposition. And I do see that with a lot of Black women. And that's something that we really do have to admit. I could be nasty, but my disposition throughout every day is not that. She has a very nasty disposition about herself.
Right, she was on that stand like she didn't even give a fuck. Like she didn't give a fuck that somebody just lost their life on her side. Like, that's crazy. They came at her defense and lost his life, but she just like, well, yeah, I called them. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. My fault. Go ahead, dang. My bad.
Right. So, and I haven't even heard of this case until Newstoter mentioned it yesterday that he was going to talk about it. And then I saw her video taking a stand. It was 2 minutes. I just saw a 2-minute clip. And I'm like, okay, this is a problem that I'm starting to see a pattern with Black women. And I will admit that is a nasty pattern of a nasty disposition of Black mammy bitches are taking here in America. Yeah, I said it. So, and I got more, but I guess I'll save it for later.
All right.
Oh, Dana, you really went in right there now. I love it. Hey, look.
Well, now let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Hold on, real quick. Let me say this.
Okay.
And Dana, and I get what you're saying. That you're saying that you felt that the men have been reserved in this actual in this space, and I get what you're saying. You do also have to realize at the same point in time too, what women say and what men say are perceived differently. I'm sure there's some women that probably didn't appreciate what you just said in this space either. But if that was to come from me or the host or the co-host saying that, we be getting all kind of DMs, we be getting all kind of messages, all kind of posts. Everybody be sitting up here saying that we don't protect Black women and we're down and we're trashing Black women. and we're treating black women like second-class citizens, and we male chauvinists, and we're misogynistic, and we're this and we're that. And you understand that because you've been hearing this for the longest. So I simply and like Brother Muku said, when I saw her up on that stage, I don't even want to say what I really thought. I mean, to be honestly, when I saw her up there, sitting up there, acting like, hey, well, it don't matter what happened to him, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that, and blaming him and blaming this and that, whatever. There's always two sides of a story. We understand that. But lady, you sitting up here with a text talking about shooting somebody's shit up. Okay, you're sending your brothers over here. You're telling them this and that. We saw you on the camera hitting this man, going back and forth, So I just, at the point, we're trying to remain as neutral as possible because we understand we've been in spaces before and we've been accused of being one-sided and taking the side of this and taking the side of that and not being neutral and this and that or whatever. So, I just, I said here, like I said, because for a lot of y'all just not hearing about Travis Rudolph. But I remember when this boy was a Rivals 100 recruit coming out of Palm Beach County. I remember when he committed to Florida State. I remember seeing him sitting down there with that autistic kid, making his day going viral. That's the biggest thing that he's ever done in his career. Bigger than him being on the NFL squad or the Canadian squad or whatever. Even playing at Florida State, that thing went national. It was a viral moment. This autistic kid who sat there by himself, always ate by himself. Nobody ever talked to him and this and that. This boy went out of his way to go ahead and make this young man's day, and his mother posted a video on there, and it went viral and everything else. So I've seen this kid. I saw when this kid was supposed to have one of the biggest days of his career on draft day. His father, like I say, moving some equipment. Messes around, moving equipment in a club. Father gets shot by moving some equipment. Somebody had a loaded gun and some equipment or whatever that he was moving around. Father gets shot draft week and dies, and this kid goes undrafted. So I tried to remain as neutral as possible, and I'm sure, like anybody else, I'm human. There was some bias in what was being reported, but pretty much, I mean, I will say this. I know Commander and I know Brother Muku, there are some women coming out. They've been on Twitter and stuff, and they've been pretty vehement about, this woman right here. That's not everybody, but you had some women really going in and stuff like that. Not to the level that you should have in terms of the media, though. A lot of these women that's on YouTube channels and stuff like that, I don't really hear them discussing this as much, as some other channels and stuff like that. But like I say, as a man, we also know to a certain degree, if you say something, that you're going to be looked at differently. So, like I said, I wanted to go ahead and hold this space. And the reason I put the Trump in there too as well, because, I didn't know exactly how many people knew about Travis Rudolph. I know more people are hearing about it. So I wanted to go ahead, as always, I'd like to try to have at least 2 topics in there. Sometimes I only do 1. Sometimes I do 3 or 4. But I figure, well, let me go ahead and put Trump in there as well too, so we can go ahead and touch up on different things. But, like I say, as somebody who actually watched this young man's career before my eyes from the time he was 17 years old, coming into college and doing everything the right way, never had any run-ins with the law when he was at Florida State, was always did community work, was always responsible, was always loved and well. Like when that thing came out in 2021 and everybody heard about this, all you heard, jaws drop. Everybody's like, what? Like, no, everybody was in shock when we heard this. Like, no, this can't. We know Travis can. How did he do this? What happened? And then as more and more details started coming out, then I'm like, wait a minute here. Like, something ain't adding up right here. So I'm gonna just say that right there. Trust me. You talk about somebody who followed him. You talk about I've seen him from the time I saw when he was in high school to the time that he committed to Florida State to the time he left. So I don't know him personally like that, but I have followed him. I have seen him, go from a teenager to a man. We've always rooted for him. And to see something like that happen, when you see somebody and you watch them, you kind of get a little attached to them, especially somebody that you like, somebody that you've always heard good things about. So you kind of like, well, I know I'm probably being biased here, this and that. So let me just kind of sit back and see how things play out. Because there had been a while before we heard about it. People was asking like, what's going on with Travis Charles? I said, man, I hadn't heard anything about it. Like, and then last week I started hearing, I'm like, well, damn, they say Travis in court right now. And then I see the video with the girl. And I'm like, holy hell. I see the video. I see the text. I see her funky little attitude up there on the stand. And then I'm like, okay, this is why we have some issues right here. And I'm not gonna sit up here and, like I said, I'm not gonna call every woman a bitch or this or that, because that's not my place. But I had some special choice words for that particular one that was on the stand, to be real.
Hey, News, leave them project bitches alone. I'm guilty myself.
Bitch, why you gotta say it like bitch, float away.
Man, I will say this now. Dana spoke it. She spoke it as a true sister could say it, but she might also get some flack for it too. So.
Okay, now let me read a comment real quick from Funny Face, on YouTube. Funny Face says, "Speak for yourself, Dana. I'm offended because I'm not a bitch. I don't have to admit to such foolishness. Are the black men married going to believe that about their wives at Newstoter?" I didn't say, and I didn't call anybody a bitch. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say anything. But like I say, this particular woman that was on the trial, that was sitting up here, that should have some blame in this actual death and everything that took place. I had some particular choice words for her, so I'm not saying that every woman's a bitch. I never said that in any space. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there.
Can I reply quickly to that comment?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I don't backtrack what I said. I said what I said, and that's what it is. But the fact is that any woman that says, "I'm not a bitch," you may not be a funky mammy bitch like this chick that took that stand. But we as women, sometimes I'm being a bitch today. You know what I'm saying? Or your husband may think, "Oh my God, my wife's being a bitch." So we have displayed bitchness. But the fact is that I said what I said, and it's the truth. There are a lot of women, I'm generalizing, black women, and their nasty, funky, mammy, bitch-ass disposition that they have, no matter what the income, no matter what the education. That's a thing that is going on. And it's another YouTuber, Crimson Cure.
You talk my girl Kendra, man. Don't mess up my girl name. That's Crimson Cure. That's my girl.
Well, you gotta let me finish. Let me finish saying what I was saying. See, calm down. Because I know her. We speak. We have numbers. We exchange phone numbers. That's another YouTuber who do hold black women accountable. That's her whole YouTube channel, what it's centered around. So, but you do have the Cynthia G's that want to call black men garbage bags. And mind you, I have a black son. So I know why I'm saying this and where it's coming from. I know how women are. I know the sneakiness, the vanity-driven way we are. And I tell my son, first of all, you don't trust nobody, man or woman. But at the same time, you make sure if you do get married or if you're in a relationship that she know, you know what I'm saying, that you the one that's in charge, period. So, it comes from me being a mother to a black man, and he is a dark-skinned black man at that.
All right, appreciate that, Dana. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging, and then I'm gonna go. Matter of fact, Mr. Engaging, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna get to the news speakers. I'm gonna go to Aunt Lie and no taxation, and then I'm gonna come back to you. Aunt Lie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, peace, black power, and reparations to the room. Really quick. First I'm gonna talk about Trump, and I want to say Brother Muku said everything that I wanted to say. He took the words right out of my mouth. If you believe anything that SOB say, then I got a bridge I could sell you. I need some money too, so I got a couple of things. Like I said, I got some kidneys for you. Kidney beans. I won't believe anything he says. This man just says stuff because he know people want to hear it. And he know, like, it's literally like, I think he's not even on the spectrum. My kids were saying you can't say retarded, but I really feel like he retarded, so he say things to get the attention. Even though he know he can't do them, he just say it because it causes a commotion. But in regards to the Travis situation, and this situation breaks my heart, I don't know anything about it. I was really like, my mouth is just really open when Newstoter was just saying he was the one with the video, because I remember the video, and like he followed his whole career, and my heart bleeds for him. I feel so bad, and I want to agree to disagree with a couple of things that were said in regards to the B word. I'm gonna say she's not a B word because honestly, female dogs are companions and they do more for, you know, they supportive. She's none of that. I would call her a cunt would be a better word. She
Oh
is
my God,
not.
that is so dirty. You're right.
I wouldn't even say that she is a woman because none of her actions or characteristics meet the definition. She's a female because she was assigned that gender or whatever they say about those body parts that she has. But other than that, she doesn't fit the category of being a woman. She's a female.
Hey, hold up and go ahead and let her finish. Go ahead, Aunt Lai.
So I was just saying, the fact that he has to go through this because she literally put his life on his line, it shows the racism of the system. Because number one, it's self-defense. Like he literally defended himself from her threats, and then he got people and then people actually came to the location. He didn't know what they were capable of. I thought that Florida was a stand your ground state because George Zimmerman got off of following a minor, getting his ass beat by the minor, that he's not guilty. But then they put this man on a trial. And why is she not being charged for accessory before the fact? Because she the one set it up. And the fact that, like, I saw a little video where she was just saying, like, shoot everything but him. Like, I'm disgusted. It's hurtful. Understanding how prison is like the last of the last. The fact that his life is literally on the line because someone of the opposite sex, someone who's supposed to have a black man's best interest at heart, would do this to him, and not only do this to him, the poor person that died. Like, she literally caused the death of another human being, and the only regard she's saying was, it's sad all the way around. My heart bleeds for him. It's nothing. I just can't even. Why is she not even being charged? Like, I can't for the life of me understand why the person who put the action in motion. And when you think of a crime and the accessory to the crime and her even sentence, she should be charged. And I hope that, whatever needs to happen is that she gets some charges, and I hope he gets off. And it's just sad all around. I'm going through it. I'm emotional, so I might start crying. Don't judge me. But it's just a sad situation all around. And again, she got to be a cunt because she don't fit the characteristics of a beater. She's not even there yet. I'll end my point.
Alrighty. Let me go to no taxation. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. Hey, Newstoter, DJ, Professor, Dana.
Hey, what's up?
Engagement, original. I find more black.
How you doing, sister?
I'm gonna go to Trump first because he's easy. Mr. What's his name? Black. Anyway, he told him Trump is a racist. He's also an opportunist. And so those are two dangerous combinations for politics because he can make money off his racism very easily. I will say this. If he said that he's going to put in an executive order, it has to go to the courts because that's a point of constitutional law, right? And let him put it in. Let's see what the courts say so we know what we're working with. And that may very well be and I'm not saying going out there and vote for Trump. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if he gets in office and he does that, let's see where it takes us. Because that could be the start of redoing the entire immigration system in this country. So it could be a good thing. Executive orders don't really mean anything. They're worthless, if he's not in office. So, and he can't do it anyway. And somebody will take it to court. Some organization or organizations will take him to court over it. And I say let it happen because we need to know where we stand in this country, especially black folks. Because we might have to start bringing some Haitians in. Because if we're going to bring in any black ones, I say let's go get the Haitians. Why? Because they don't know how to act. And maybe we can and maybe some of us will get a clue and act bad with them. So that's that. This man Travis Rudolph. I listened to that woman too, and I'm gonna tell you something. If every black woman is not living about that woman, then something's wrong with you, and that's just the truth of the matter. See, what happened was white supremacy lifted black women up. Remember, mass incarceration. All the men was in prison. So that means the black women got the jobs. They lifted them up and told them that they was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And that's what they riding on. Even it translates all the way down to the streets. She is a particular problem because you could tell she felt entitled to say whatever she wanted to say in a court of law. In a court of law. And she admitted to wrongdoing in a court of law. In a court of law. And she didn't have a problem doing it. She didn't bat an eye. She came dressed for the occasion. She said it, she did it, and she don't have a problem with it, which tells me that something is wrong with her, okay? More than Jezebel. And part about it, too, is let's see if her case gets picked up, because that's what needs to happen. You can still get arrested in court. Don't think they can't arrest you and put some charges on you in the courtroom. So if they don't do that, that's a very real problem. That means that these black women think they can do whatever they want to do. Black women seem to think they're unfucking checkable, and that's not true. All that dancing, sucking on hot dogs in the grocery store, and twerking in the motherfucking grocery store, in the restaurants with no clothes on and standing up at the tables, that shit got to go. I wish the fuck it would happen around me. Because, see, you're going to have a lifetime problem fucking with me and my atmosphere if I'm going out and spending my money somewhere. Trust, believe. Y'all need to start turning the tables on them wenches. That's what you need to do. If it happens in your neighborhood, if you see it in your grocery store, if they do all that kind of stuff, turn the tables on it. It's high time that these folks need to go sit their asses down. All that running around out here with no clothes on, you think that's going to get you somewhere? Don't you know that white women ran down there and burnt their bras and showed their titties? That was the first thing they did back in the 60s. You see how long it took them to even get abortion rights. And that's what they wanted. So don't think, black women, that you can do what white women do and it's going to take you 50 years to do it. You cannot do it. Keep your motherfucking clothes on. Leave something to the imagination sometimes. How about that? And, we just going to pray for Travis. And I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sister. I was gonna say this right here, everybody in the space. Y'all go ahead and retweet the space out for all of our followers in here. Please go ahead and retweet the space out in case people don't get a chance to hear this tonight. They can hear it tomorrow or whenever. So if you can, please go ahead and tweet the space out. Let me go ahead and go to Mr. Engaging.
Hey, I'm checking in. One thing I'm gonna highlight for the family. It was I'm gonna go back to this Travis thing because I'm still not done with it. I'm very upset with it personally. There was 2 lives, I'm gonna say possibly 3 lives destroyed, and they all were black men. The black man that was married to that woman or that murderer, because that's what she is. I'm not gonna call her all these derogatory terms. She is what she is. She's a proxy to murder, and that's how I view her. She killed a black person, or her behaviors or her actions as a result of getting a black man killed. That's the second life that's taken away. And the third one is the black man who's fighting for his damn life. So that's 3 black men lives that are destroyed in one single breath. So that's one thing I do want to highlight and really want to go in on. The other thing is I want to get on this woman's anti-black misandrous behavior. That's something I will say. I'm not going to call her all those derogatory terms because it ain't going to get nowhere. But I will put labels where they fit. And she is anti-black. And I'm going to say she's a Negro misandrous, to be honest. She's against Negro black men. That's unacceptable. And my thing is, why isn't she not charged for murder? And my answer to that is, the reason why she ain't really charged like that, because she's an agent of chaos. She's an agent of chaos in our community. And I might say something that's unpopular on this microphone right now. The 2 most freest people in this society is black women and white men. You can grin your teeth at it, you can get mad at it, but that's just the reality of this white supremacist system that we're in. And I'm just tired of women, specifically our black women, not complaining and saying that they're not being protected, but yet still they're not offering up the right protection for our men. When I mean that they're not offering the right protection for our men, we ask them to cook a meal for us that's healthy. We get pushed back. We tell them to support and watch over our children in our household. We get pushed back. Honestly, I see my family household get destroyed because of a woman that's unruly. Like, I'm really tired of it, honestly. I think it's utterly disgusting. And to the point, I really want to make a society and just kick these women that got these unruly behavior, go to the other side. Go be a swirler. That's what you need to be. Be an effing swirler and get the F on. That's something I will say. Because we don't need you in this new community that we're trying to build here. We're trying to build unity and we're trying to repair something that's lost. And the last thing we want is a woman getting in the way when we're trying to get ready to fight. And that's what I see. Women keep getting in the damn way while we fight. And I'm tired of it, personally.
Alrighty. Let me go ahead and go to no taxation. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic. This is turned into quite the space tonight. I say that much.
I just want to tell y'all a little story. It happened to my son. The only difference was she didn't call her people. She lied and said that he put his hands on her. My son has never, ever put his hands on a woman in anger. Ever. And my son had a serious anger problem to the point where I had him in counseling. Okay? And we stayed in counseling for 2 years. 2 years. I took him every week. 2 years. Okay? And he knows how to control his anger now because I caught him when he was young. Having said that, after he got to a certain age and he was living his life and doing his thing and working and taking care of himself and doing all that, he got himself wrapped up with some little old girl. And he was living in Hawaii at the time. And she done called the Hawaiian police on him and lied and said he put his hands on me. And they said, well, where is he? She said he hit me in my stomach. See, because she didn't have no bruises, cuts, scrapes, or nothing. She didn't have nothing look like she even been in a fight or somebody had hit her. She called the police on my son. My son immediately called me with the police standing. I said, find out where you going, what precinct you gonna be at, and what's gonna happen. And call me when you get down. Make me your phone call. And he did. And of course, he had a court case and the bitch didn't show up. It got dropped. But I'm gonna tell you something. And who was that said they had a son? Dana said that she had a son. And I know a few other people in here that have, sons. It can happen. It can happen. It can happen. It can happen to any one of y'all. Because I'm gonna tell you something. There's these women out here. They don't mean y'all no good. They think they can get whatever it is they want to get from you, and you be the only one, and they run the streets and do whatever they want to. Like that girl over there with Travis. She got a whole husband, and I don't know if they was together or just a husband on paper, marriage on paper. But she got a whole husband, and she's out in the streets. So she's a woman that doesn't even know her own self-worth. She don't have any. She don't have nothing for herself because she disrespects herself. Any woman that disrespects herself, don't be around her. Don't have her around you, because you can't give what you don't have. She had no respect for herself, so she was gonna treat everybody any kind of way because she treated herself any kind of way. That's too many penises all at the same time, baby. That's too many. Okay, and unless you do that for a living, and that's how you make your money, then you really ain't got no business doing that. You can't do that and call yourself somebody who's a worthwhile person on this earth. You can't do it. And she came dressed and ready for the occasion in the courtroom. The one that did it to my son, she didn't even show up because she knew that lie wasn't gonna fly. And so don't think that it cannot happen in these days and time. White women used to do it all the time. What you doing, little girl, to Travis? What is you doing? You trying the same trick that gets black men killed. You think you a white woman now? See, somebody need to step to her. Let it be me. I ain't scared of brothers either. How about that? And I'm gonna leave it there.
All right. Let me give a shout out to Jimmy real quick. Jimmy, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging. And anybody else that wants to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand up.
Yeah, family. I just wanted to let y'all know I got that NBAA which is the Negro Black Accusation Act, the NBAA. And the reason why we need to be funding this project or funding these certain things is because you got brothers and sisters who got answers for these situations and the right response legally for this. There needs to be a bill for these wenches out here that thinks it's cool to lie on brothers. I don't care what color you coming in. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I'm just tired of them lying on the brother. It gets old, you know. I see a lot of brothers trying to do the right thing, you know, trying to serve their family, trying to build families. And all it takes is a lie from these women. Just one little lie, you know. You might think it's innocent. You might think it's, who cares, you know. It's a Negro, man. It's a Negro black man. I ain't gonna get no response from that, you know. I ain't gonna get no clap back. I ain't gonna get put in jail for that. Nah, there's a brother that really wants to put y'all in jail if y'all do shit like that to my people. Because I'm tired of seeing that. Because that's another brother that's ripped out his home. You know what happens? I have to go deal with his son. I got to go work with his son because I see him out on the street. Another brother has to go work with his son or work with his mother because that child don't have a father that was ripped out of his home. Like, this is disgusting. This is the thing I've been seeing since the 90s. I've been seeing this through the 90s. Young brothers losing their lives, getting beat up, getting stomped out over this nonsense. Man, whatever happened to loving your own people? Whatever happened to black love, putting your black people first? Man, I hope our black women get on board. Like, if they don't get on board, I'm telling you, fam, our community is going to be lost. We don't get our women on board.
All right, let me go ahead and get to DJ. DJ. You there, DJ?
Yes, I am here. I was over here tweeting. So let's see. Let's get it. All right. Trump, Birthright Citizenship. You already know MAGA. So you know that this people belong to or whatever the case be. But yeah, we shouldn't even have never had no birthright citizenship anything here if you haven't been a citizen in this country for X amount of time, or at least got generational lineage here or something like that. So yeah, go ahead and Trump. You already keep checking off these Kool-Aid points. I'm gonna vote for your ass. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And I definitely don't give a fuck about these goddamn tethers. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody up out of here. Call ICE. I don't care at this point. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with anybody being here legally, even want to be here for a better life. Forget all that. My black people ain't had a chance to have no life here. So at the end of the day, it may look like that on the surface, but we failing here in this country, and we are messed up as a people. So we need to have a moratorium. I think the word is on immigration for the next 1,000 years. We should be voting for the Democrats for the next 1,000 years. Leave these jokers alone. Party be damn, as Sister Reparation, as we say. I don't know. We need to go start our own black party. I don't even care if you go vote for the Republicans. I'm about to vote for some of these people over here in Jersey just to spite these Democrats. Because I don't care. You know what I mean? They don't care. So why should I care? So at the end of the day, go vote for who you want to vote for. But hopefully we can get together within the next year and have some type of black party pack going on. Shout out to the Brooks and Claire Blood Pack. You already know. BuyOurBlood.org. BuyOurBlood.org. And if you don't want your reparations, you can go up there and fill out your opt-out form. We know what to do with the reparations you'll share. We appreciate you donating. So you know what I mean? Let's see. Well, Travis Rudolph, you already know. Kevin Sanders is right there. You go ahead. I'll land my plane.
All right.
Damn, that was short, sweet.
Professor, I know you was trying to get something in earlier. You want to go ahead and say something, Professor?
Yeah, man. I just want to say, shout out to Dana for bringing up a very good point there. Very good point. Like you said, Toto, I agree with what you said too, man. Because if you, me, or DJ, we say something like that, man, we're gonna get some heat behind that. Then we don't protect the sisters. So shout out to Dana for speaking her truth on that. Also, man, I just got to say once again, for sisters, and I'm not saying all sisters, but for sisters, if you are having some issues with pettiness, leave that shit in your house. Don't bring everybody else into pettiness. Leave it in your house. Don't get your brothers, don't get your father, don't get your cousins caught up in drama. Okay? Drama queen type stuff. If you need protection, whereas you being harmed or in a situation where you just being in a violent relationship, I can see you calling your brother, your cousin, your father, or some male member of your family. But do not get your male family members involved in crap like this right here. What's going on with Mr. Travis Rudolph. And I definitely hope this brother comes through this ordeal. He definitely needs to be found not guilty. But this is what we've been talking about, you know, and it's not all black women now. You'll never hear me say that. But we do have some sisters out there that are into this drama type shit like this that ends up getting black men caught up, and you end up messing up a lot of lives. And see, and I think Mr. Engagement said it best. There's 3 lives that are messed up in here right now. We hope Travis Rudolph can come out of this, you know, but still he's having to go through all of this. See, he's having to go through the justice system, and so his name is also being dragged through the mud. Okay? Not to mention, we got to think about the brother that was killed, and then we got to think about the other brothers that were also involved. All of the brothers that got involved in this mess, man, just because of what one woman said. So that's what I had to say, family, and I want to hear what everybody else has to say.
All right. Let me just say this part right here, you know, and I know Dana, she said what she felt about women and stuff, and we're not sitting up here implying that all women are the B word. None of us said that in this space, so I just want to go ahead and put that out for people start saying, well, you know, they agreed and this and that all women are bitches. No, we never said that. You know, so just what we're saying is if we had said anything remotely like that, all hell would have broke loose. And I know that everybody up in this space knows it as well too. So and Funny Face, I see you on YouTube. You said unbelievable what I'm hearing, shaking my head. Sister, brother, I'm not Funny Face. I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman, but I'm not exactly sure. Like I say, we didn't say that all women were bitches. You know, we didn't say that. We didn't imply that. I definitely, like I said, I'm not going to put the blame of what one woman did on the entire, you know, female population here in the United States of America, black female population. You know, this woman here, she did what she did. I don't think she's representative of all black women. I think that was what she wanted to do. At the same time, you know, she's sitting up here and this man's life is in the balance right here, or something that totally didn't have to happen. You know, she didn't have to do that. Let me just go ahead and explain it and put it out there. If you have a situation like that arose that night, it's only 3 things that can happen. Somebody's going to get their ass whooped. Somebody's going to get shot. Somebody's going to get killed. Or there's a 4th thing. Somebody's going to go to jail. And you pretty much had every single solitary thing that happened there. What we just stated. Somebody got their ass whooped because they was up there fighting. It was 4-on-1, and I believe it was 4-on-2. Somebody got shot. Somebody got killed. And somebody went to jail. And he's out on house arrest right now. So, you know, I don't know exactly what the problem is at Funny Face about exactly what happened. I don't know if you felt that the space was being too hard because, like I say, we, for the most part, allowed anybody to come up here and did not restrict women from coming up here, men from coming up here, whatever, saying how they felt about the space. So I'm not exactly sure exactly why we still, you know, what we're so upset about. But it is what it is. Everybody, you know, they have a right to their opinion. So you have a right to feel how you want to feel. Like I say, I feel like we're more than fair allowing people to come up here and voice their opinion about this situation right here, which most people didn't even know about until this week or last week anyways. So, you know, I'm not exactly sure, like I said, exactly what the issue is. I really wish this situation had not happened at all. There you would have somebody still alive. You'd have somebody who wasn't potentially going to be spending a large chunk of the rest of their life in prison, and their career is possibly over with, whether he gets acquitted or not. You know, he was a professional player. He hasn't played in 2 years. He's pushing close to 30. So he may not ever really get a realistic shot. He was in the Canadian Football League. So he professionally might be over with, period, whether he comes out of this or not. So you got a bunch of lives that's messed up behind something like this that didn't need to happen. Yet it did happen. So, I mean, I really don't know exactly what else to say on that part. So let me go ahead and get to let me go get to Fred. Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, let me say something real quick just to piggyback on what you said. Tom, my bad, Fred. Dana said if the shoe fits, wear it. See, this is the problem with black people. We don't care if you talking about if the shoe fits, wear it or not. As soon as we hear those words, B, a nigga, and all this other stuff, we automatically assume we talking about each other or the people in the comments or the chat or YouTube or this or that. No, if the shoe fits, wear it. So ain't no need to get emotional or upset about it. Go ahead, Jabari. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So I can't disagree with nothing brought up about the chicken head ratchetness of that situation. But the one thing I want to say is to the brother that ended up having to shoot somebody. If you're a man of means, you got to learn not to stoop below a certain level messing with certain type of ratchets. Because, see, what he did was he forgot exactly what a status was. And he went out there like he was just a regular hood rat chicken head himself, getting engaged in something that he had no business being 1,000 miles within. You a young brother, you playing ball. Even if you're playing in overseas or whatever, your bread is straight. So therefore, pick somebody who's going to be up to your damn standard. Black men also got to learn, don't put yourself in a damn situation like that. You sit up there, you slick at the mouth, calling this, you already know what type of level of broad you're dealing with, and you're going to do everything in the chicken head book to get her to swing at you. The only good thing about this situation was that it was on tape. But if you're a man of means or a female of means, you got to learn what level to stoop to and what level to stoop below. Because, see, by you dealing with this and you turning it into a ratchet your damn self, now you're going to damn near mess up your whole life because you didn't have sense enough to stay on your own damn level or diffuse the situation on your own damn level. Now, I mean,
Thank you, Fred. And you're right on that part. He should have, and I know hindsight is 2020, but he should have been a little bit more careful who he was getting involved with, especially. I don't know how. Like I said, this has been alleged, and quite a few people been talking about it. If this woman was actually a married woman, you got to go ahead and steer away from that. Especially, even if you playing in the Canadian Football League, and let's say you're making $75,000, $80,000 a year or whatever in the Canadian Football League, you have had a couple six-figure contracts in the NFL, even just as a practice player. So you definitely got to go ahead and pick a better person that you're gonna be with. So and like I say, that hindsight is 2020. I don't know if he knew the woman was allegedly married when he first met her. He found out later on. I don't know exactly what it was, but it definitely just with everything that went down, I'm sure he regrets it in hindsight. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engage. I'm not sure if Mr. Engage and Dana, I think is, and I could be wrong, y'all. I believe it's Mr.
You can let Queen Dana go first. I'm in the middle of reading cases in between this.
All right.
So I pick out the ammo against that Lions club. So you already know what I'm about right now. So yeah, give it to my sister Dana.
Go ahead, Dana. Then.
Hey, just real quick. Hey, Dana, I'm not sure if you read the law of one of these judicial courts. They shut down the Jersey concealed carry law, so you could go get a gun permit now in New Jersey, yo. And so there you go.
Yeah, I heard that, but didn't they at the same time put up a lot of no gun zones?
Yeah.
So it's like
right, yeah, but you can still go get your L's. Go get your L's, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I moved to a red state 6 months ago because I just couldn't do it. Taxes too high, but it's the dumb shit like that. Okay, you make the permit to carry easy, but then you want to put a million gun zone laws up. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, I got to keep it in my house. And then if I shoot someone that's trying to kill me, you're still going to lock me up. I wanted to say, too, Newstoter, take murder out of the title in your YouTube. And your viewership is going up, but you have to watch how you title it. Don't put murder nowhere in your YouTube description or tags. And then next time, I will share your YouTube live in my community section as well. And YouTube comments, when people comment, we are a whole nother breed over in YouTube. See, Twitter is nice. We are more vicious, and we are crabs in a barrel on YouTube. YouTube is the projects. Just keep that in mind as well, Newstoter. So, yeah. And also,
it's pretty bad over here too now.
no, well, listen, we're still better than Clubhouse.
Coming to my late night space. That's the real projects. Shout out to Westside.
but you, like you said, late night. So Twitter still has class. Clubhouse is the ghetto. YouTube, you know, yeah, it's the projects, and we have a drug war going on. You know what I'm saying? But so Twitter, you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to ask the question, because I have a brother, and I can't go to my brother and say, this guy I was dealing with cheated on me with another woman. Go shoot up his shit. He'd look at me like I'm retarded. What did you say to your brother? What was the story she told her brother to make him go and to get his friends to go to that man's house? What was the story she gave him? Because
that's all she got to say.
I believe she said that because I believe one of the guys that was with him said that that he had slammed her to the ground, I believe is what she said he said, or what he did.
Okay, so she lied to the brother, exaggerated the story, because we saw that video, the door camera video of her attacking him. So she lied to the brother, then sent the brother the text message, and then the brother goes over there. So that's what I want to know. Like, and that's what I'm saying, calling them bitches, and cunts, you know, it was just a nice word to describe her. But the fact is that you lied all through this, and I do hope I do hope he pressed charges against her once he's found innocent. And then on top of that, I know in y'all southern states, people that are married, that are cheating, don't y'all got a law or something that you can get in trouble for that? We don't got that up north. But something with the marriage and infidelity. So, yeah, when this is all said and done, he should definitely sue her in civil court as well. So that was it.
Okay. I think, hey, Professor, mute your mic for a second. I believe, I think they claimed that he roughhoused her. Now, I think they were saying that he slammed one of the guys down to the ground, but apparently he must have, I think it was that he supposedly roughhoused her, Dana. So I believe that's what it was.
Dana, I was going to say, I know, it seems like to me what you're talking about is maybe military law. Now, military law, they'll go after you for, cheating, adultery. I'm not sure about when it comes to the state law, civilian law, but in the military law, they go after you hard for going outside of the marriage.
Right, I did hear that. Oh, sorry. I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that with military, but I think if you're married, the other spouse, if somebody cheats, the spouse could also sue the person they cheated on with. So if I mess with a married man, his wife in the South can come after me and sue me in court. So maybe that's what I'm.
Hey, real quick.
In California, they got a law called home wrecker. They got a home wreckers law.
Real quick, this is what it said. It said Robinson was one of 4 men who confronted Rudolph on April 7, 2001. Keyshawn Jones testified last week that they just wanted to talk to Rudolph about allegedly slamming Jones' sister to the ground after she discovered texts on the phone from another woman. So, yeah, apparently they were saying that allegedly he slammed her on the ground after she found out the text on the phone or whatever. So that's why apparently how it all started.
Yeah, I think it's just still some lies in there to the brother, because why would he slam you on the ground after you saw some text on his phone? That means you picked up the phone without his permission and went through it. And then when you found it, he slammed you on the ground. So,
That's what she says. So let me go ahead real quick. We're going to hit our last few speakers of the night. We're going to hit No Taxation, Misengaging, Be More Codified, and Black Pressure. Y'all, we've been going about 3 hours. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the YouTube channel. Last I checked, I know we had at least one subscription. Let's see if we can get at least one more person. Thank you for everybody who's contributed on Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. I see you got your hand out. Let me go ahead because it's been a minute since I heard from you. You want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say about the lecture about men. Be careful of the type of women you pick, and you do know savagery, evil, being black-hearted, that crosses income brackets and that crosses levels of education. Not only I know everybody here knows this just as well as me. I could send you endless links of women who are highly educated, women who make tons of money, do the same thing that this woman did. So it's, and I won't say the brother's wrong about picking the type of woman, but this type of behavior, it crosses all spectrums of, I guess I would say, character in women. And I'll mute up.
All right. Thank you, Pressure. Let me go ahead and get to No Taxation. Let me go ahead and get to you.
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna leave because I done got mad about your little YouTube friends. They done said it was the hood or the ghetto over there. So let me just get hood and ghetto real quick for your YouTube fans. If y'all are getting ready to, you women that are getting ready to be in agreement with that type of behavior, then I'm gonna say to everybody in this room and everybody on YouTube, y'all are dead weight, and we can't carry you anymore. Get you a community to go into, put some ropes around it, so we know how to stay away from y'all and y'all stay away from us. Because we trying to do something over here. Black folks is trying to do something. And we don't need that kind of chicken head, ratchet, whatever you want to call it, behavior. We don't need it. Take that over there to the Hispanics or the white folks or the Asians or somebody else. We don't need it. We don't want it. Period.
All right.
I think you made a funny chicken head.
And I think some of the people on YouTube were saying that they actually didn't hear the whole story, so they're going to check up and research it before they can go ahead and make an informed opinion about it. So for those that didn't on YouTube, the actual link is in the description up there to the actual article. Definitely go ahead and check that out. Let me go ahead and get to Be More Codified. Go ahead, Be More Codified.
Thanks for letting me speak, man. Free space. Just I have the black pack off of what No Taxation said, what DJ said, and it definitely saying that. I mean, clearly, the shoe fits where I think black people have an addiction, and I'm gonna say a lot of black people have an addiction of distraction. We see it's a bigger picture. We see how important the bigger picture is, but in spite of just buckling down and staying focused on the bigger picture, we just gotta be distracted by some little dumb shit. If you know that being a bitch don't apply to you, why even comment? Why even put your mind in the frame or in the mode of thinking, well, I ain't no bitch? Black people are like that when it comes to getting money. You know what I'm saying? Right before, you wish you want to be a millionaire, you pray for it, you pray to your ancestors, you pray to something or somebody called Jesus and God and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But soon as the $1 million, the $400 million right in your fucking lap, you gotta do something to fuck it up. It reminds me of the story of
I don't need that money. You keep that money. That's the white man money. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do.
It reminds me of the story of Bobby Boucher. And not Bobby Boucher. It was who was it? Talladega Nights. You know what I'm saying? Where he had the father, and the father told him, "Look, if you ain't first, you last." You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta get out of that mind frame of not staying focused. And once you get once you stay so focused and you get what you want right in hands reach, stop doing shit to just fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? We are so addicted to not thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna repeat that. We are people we are addicted to not thinking. It's like soon as we think ourselves up to a good position, and then we'll just turn on our addiction and not thinking. And we'll stop thinking and say all kinds of wild shit. Do all types of wild shit. And then after we come to our senses, we'll be like, oh damn, why we didn't get picked? We were the first in line. You know, we gotta start staying focused. So I guess my last words, you know, to everybody is just staying focused and let's continue to strive to stay focused and complete the mission. You know what I'm saying? Stop being hung up on progress. Because all progress means is that you didn't complete the fucking mission. Progress ain't shit. Okay? Progress means you still lost the fucking war. And even if somebody trying to trick you into thinking you won a battle, guess what? You ain't got your check in your hand. You ain't got no check for your offspring saying, look, this for great granddaddy who was a slave. You get this 25,000. This 25 million. Here, this for you and your children, so you can cash this when you 20, when you 21. We ain't got that yet. So progress ain't shit. Progress ain't nothing until we complete the fucking mission. Let's start celebrating completing missions. Let's do that. Let's make that a rule. And I'll land there. Thanks for letting me speak, Newstoter, and thank everybody in the space for listening.
No problem. Let me go ahead and get it to Mr. Engaging. Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thanks, fam, for allowing me to speak. I'm with Sister No Taxation with that getting rid of the dead weight. I call it thinning the herd, family. We at thinning the herd season. If you ain't on code with wanting to protect your the overall collective, we don't need you. I think this is something that should have been expressed a long time ago in the 60s, in the 70s and such. And it wasn't really expressed the way it ought to be. But I think we can come around and actually express that, because we do need to have to jump our voice. If you ain't doing right by our community, why are you here? What's the point of you being here? It doesn't matter if you're black too. Like, if you ain't trying to do right by your people, why are you here? We don't need you. And I'm gonna keep that same energy. I really like that No Taxation. Got me fired up. I ain't had my coffee yet. So the other thing that I want to touch upon, just to our sisters, like, one of the things I hear is saying that y'all not protected. And that kind of gets me annoyed, because I see a lot of good brothers out there. A lot of good brothers that would put their life on the line. And then I see how that could be used and taken advantage of, you know? That's going to result in something negative where in the long run, you might not have that brother support. But brothers as a collective might just step away. That's something I don't want to see. But, like, do you blame them? Like, they out here giving people football numbers. And last thing a brother wants is get a football number over some BS. Like, that's the last thing I would want. Especially if I work too hard, going to school, trying to straighten up and fly right, you know. Last thing I want is get taken away off a lie.
All right. Appreciate that, Mr. Engage. And on that note, we're gonna get ready to go ahead and close this space out. We've been going for 3 hours, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. But we will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody that's been up in the space, if you guys get a chance, go ahead and retweet this space out. Please go ahead and do that so your followers and people can go ahead and get a chance to check this space out as well too. So on that note, guys, we will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a good night and peace.
Peace, peace.